The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
Good morning, pop culture. We are live. It is Monday. No, it is Tuesday. Can't speak. Sorry. It's Tuesday, June 18th, 2019. It's 8:40 a.m. and it's time to rock and roll with Good Morning Pop Culture. Now, it's going to be a minute till more people get here because today is a surprise episode. I know a lot of people like this show. I know a lot of people have missed this show. So I thought, what the hell? Why not give the listeners a surprise episode? Because life is good. And a lot of people have missed it. So let's start off with telling you exactly why the show's here. So on Friday, I was a guest on the Merry Mayhem 1,000 subscriber special. And after the show, we all hung out off air. And one of our listeners, the DJD show, said, Jeff, we missed the morning show. I can't tell you how much we miss it. And he went on and on and on. And I thought, you know what? I miss it too. So when I figure out scheduling, obviously I'll do more. And I've done more recently. Usually after 1,000 thumbs up on a high council that I host, we'll have an episode. But I thought, what the hell? It's Tuesday. I got the time. I took my mom to an early breakfast and I'm back. And so we're going to spend the next, 2 hours or so discussing the world of pop culture. Because there's a lot to talk about that I don't necessarily have enough to make videos out of. So we got some people here already in the chat. Let's see. Good morning to Aga, who was the first person here, or Agha. Also, good morning to Rujas, Samurai Vader, Random Nerd of Doom, M. Hampton, Fraud97, Etepicoian's Place to Be Review. Check him out. Amy Minty's back. Michael Collier. And Logan Michael. Anti-Funko Pop says, Pop Gay, with a super chat. Well, thank you very much, Logan Michael. I appreciate the super chat. You know what else is pretty shitty? This rain. So I don't know where everyone's located. I mean, we are world-class bullshitters after all. But here in Cincinnati, we have had the wettest season on record, I believe. It rains every couple of hours. Now, normally I like overcast days. I still like overcast days. The sun sucks, to quote Beavis and Butthead to America. I like overcast days, cool weather. But it rains all the time here. It's like we're in Seattle. Okay? Now, I'm not saying it affects my mood because that'd be a shocker for me. But my God, is it just constantly raining. It's like I went to breakfast, it started to rain on the way back. It'll rain in a couple more minutes, it's nonstop, and it just keeps happening. Hell, we're having landslides here in Cincinnati. So there's my gripe of the morning, if you will. I'm in a great mood, not going to let that get me down. But seriously, stop raining, Cincinnati. Let's see, we got a lot of people in the chat now. There we go. Takeout Joe says this is his first time here on Good Morning Pop Culture. I must have said Good Evening Pop Culture. That's an idea I got playing around in the back of my mind. Good morning to Billy Ritchie. Hello, SK Live. Welcome to the live stream. Normally, our live streams are on Thursday nights. They're the podcast. We have a lot of fun, so make sure you don't miss out on this week's show because we have a lot of fun stuff planned. We have a big game, and it's something everybody's going to want to get involved with. I really can't wait for Logan Michael to play the game because it's something to do with numbers, and I really want to hear what that dude has to say. Well, how his numbers fall in line. Thank you, House of Malachor, for the very nice compliment. We got the Appalachian American, Mike Sidious. We got so many people. Wow, okay, it is going to be hard to say good morning to everybody. John Paul, yes, Brie Larson has a brick face. Morning, Alpha Terranima. Buenos dias to you too, Hugo. Oh, Wilmar says it's raining constantly in South Florida. Well, at least you have, South Florida. South Florida's beautiful. Well, I like Miami. I don't know. That's South Florida, right? That's like is that the southernmost city? It's my favorite city in America. I always jokingly would say, I've never had a good time in Texas. Well, I've never had a bad time in Miami. It's like living in a rap video. Yeah, it's expensive, but when you go, you know you're going to have a good time. So Good morning to everybody. Etepokulian's Place to Be Reviews, thank you for your $1 super chat. And yes, Star Wars for Life is here in the chat. She's the moderator for today's show. I should have told her we were going to do it because she probably just saw, oh my god, they're going live over on Twitter, and she jumped in. So shout out to you. Thank you very much. And please heed her words and give us a thumbs up. Smash the like button. Simple request from a giant man. And Alec Munoz, thank you very much as well. Somebody's up in Columbus, Ohio. I hope it's not raining in Columbus all the time. That's all it does here. Now, the High Council, for those wondering, folks, is on Geeks and Gamers tonight. I'm next week. And, of course, I will make the deal. 1,000 thumbs up, a Good Morning Pop Culture next Wednesday. So, 2 weeks in a row for a Good Morning Pop Culture. Let's make them big. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about today. So, first off, Logan Michael, Anti-Funko Pop, says, I picked up my Mattel Batmobile from eBay, LMAO. I got mine from the Mattel site, but it's on back order. So, I hope that we can make it happen. Also, speaking of Batman, I believe if the guys are available, we are going to be doing a Batman 1989 live stream tomorrow. If not, I might do something myself because we got to celebrate the 30th anniversary of that film. It is my favorite. Is it my favorite Batman film? It's tied for number one. That or Batman Begins. Sorry, Dark Knight, you're a great movie. No disrespect. Nolan's great, but I prefer Batman Begins, even though it's still a Nolan film. But, yeah, Logan Michael, I picked it up too. I'm a sucker for anything from Batman 89. That's all I can say. Anything from that movie, and I will pick it up. The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey says, Hail Doomcock, hail Shatner, hail the Phantom Menace. Or, excuse me, the Fandom Menace. The Phantom Menace is pretty decent too. I can't really dump on it anymore. Time has softened my stance on that movie. Actually, it's the last 2 Star Wars films in the mainline saga that has softened my stance on that movie. I mean, it's not as great as the original, too. It never will be. It's not as good as Return of the Jedi. It's not even as good as Revenge of the Sith. But it's better than Episode 2, 7, 8, Solo. But Rogue One, I think it's better. I gotta watch Rogue One again. It's been a while. I really enjoy the movie, but it's one of those films I know I like, but I don't want to watch at all. It's not like the original Star Wars. I could watch it literally every day and not get bored of it. It is perfect to me. I love Star Wars. But yeah, to bounce off of the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey super chat, so Doomcock had originally been blocked by William Shatner. I didn't follow the story, but I saw William Shatner tweeted at Doomcock and said, if you can raise $1,000 for my charity, I'll unblock you. Well, I don't know how that went, if it happened, but I said, how much for an interview? So I was serious. I thought, the Fandom Menace, we could raise $20,000 to get William Shatner on the show, donate it to charity, it'd be a big thing. But my God, could you imagine the Shat here on World Class Bullshitters? I'd have so many questions. If we got him to do it, if we raised the money, well, we could, so when we would raise the money, I would have 2 men join me. And you'd be surprised. It wouldn't be, well, I'd have 4 guys join me, because I have to have Ethan and Jeremy. They're my brothers in arms in this whole Fandom Menace culture war battle that we face every day. But you got to get Gary and you got to get Doomcock involved. They're the Star Trek guys. Talk about a hell of a stream. That would be incredible. But we got a good stream planned for today. So Rob at Funpoint says, Hail Hefe, good for hearing from you this morning. Sorry, I flubbed that one up. Let me take a sip of my coffee. He says, Hail Hefe, good morning from you this morning. Or good hearing from you this morning. Can't even get it right when I drink the coffee. Excuse me. Thank you, Rob at Funpoint. Always happy to see Charlie Kelly in the chat. I really miss It's Always Sunny. When I'm working on more pages today, I think I'm going to pop on season... Is it season 7 is Fat Mac? I like Fat Mac season. It's a guilty pleasure. People shit on it. I think Fat Mac High School Reunion's a great 2 episodes, especially when Dennis flips out. I had like a moment of, like I was by myself and I got mad at something. And I had a Dennis moment and I went, whoa. That's why I like the character so much. He's my spirit animal. Night Jedi 666 with an awesome icon. Thank you very much for your $1 super chat. Klaustork says, good morning, a swig of coffee for the early man. Well, thank you, Klaustork, for your $2 super chat. Always happy to see that Red Ranger helmet. And finally, Etepokulian's Place to Be Review. Thank you very much for your $1. Okay, Gentleman Trout, shout out to you two. You get It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I want to say it's my favorite show, but it's my favorite sitcom. My favorite show is a 2-way tie between the Twilight Zone. It's the Twilight Zone, then Miami Vice, then It's Always Sunny. Those are my 3 go-to shows. I never get tired of any of them. fantastic across the board. But let's talk about Brie Larson. I know. You're thinking, what else is there to say about Brie Larson? Well, a lot. Now, I'm not going to try to make 100 videos like Ethan or Jeremy, because I'd rather I think I made 8 or 9 videos, and one of those got 2.1 million views, and not a single one got below 150,000 views. Hell, the highest was 2.1 million, the lowest was 150,000 roughly, but the other ones were in the 2s to 7s. So Brie Larson was a hot topic. That's the only thing hot about that woman. The shit she says gets a lot of traction in society for some dumb reason. And my favorite thing about Brie Larson at the end of the day is how inconsequential she was to Avengers Endgame. You know, Kevin Feige and all those people in Hollywood and the Disney execs and the Marvel execs, basically, they were like, oh, she's so great, she's the future, she's this, she's that. She's not even in the damn picture. So, from now on, folks, go with your gut. If you like a hero, support that hero, make them popular. Captain Marvel is nobody's favorite hero. Now, I say these things because Captain Marvel, this version, Carol Danvers, has been out for 7 years. If a little kid likes the character, never make fun of a little kid for liking their stuff. They're little. You know, when I was a little kid, I thought, what did I like as a kid? And I'm embarrassed to say I liked as an adult. Well, I would say Pee Wee Herman, but I'm going to go meet Pee Wee Herman in September, and I don't care. Pee Wee Herman was awesome. I loved that show. I had the Playhouse toy set. Here's one thing most people didn't have. I had a scooter, like a full-sized, well, for kids, Pee Wee Herman scooter. And I used to stand on it in front of the TV and watch the show. So I don't know what my equivalent is, but Captain Marvel, she won an award last night at the MTV Movie Awards, the Oscars of cable. Yes, the MTV Movie Awards. Basically, one big commercial for Twilight through the mid 29s. I don't know. How do you list 2009? Like the late 2000s? Because is the whole millennium the 2000s? Are we in the 20 teens now? I don't get it. But anyway, from about 2008 to 2011, Twilight was just it, and I hated it so much. It was so gross. But let's use that as a quick example. Twilight was a franchise geared at women. I don't remember dudes getting all up in arms. Well, the guys are too lame or this or that. Nobody cared about that. But when it comes to superhero movies, well, the shoe's not on the other foot. They want to complain. They want to do this. They want to, mold it to their liking. And I say, let people that like it, and everybody's welcome. El Berzadente, thank you very much. He says, moin moin, just in time for the cheese. Well, I'm glad you're here this morning, dude. I'm glad you're here. Well, for you, it's the afternoon. What is it? 1:52 in the afternoon? It always blows my mind to think that there are people, it's like, I'm on my way home from work right now. I think our friend Gerhardt told me, I used to listen to your show on the way home from work. And I was thinking, really? I roll out of bed, I have a couple cups of coffee, and I get here, and I stare out my window and talk about entertainment. So, it's funny. Time zones are a thing. But back to Brie Larson winning her MTV Movie Award for Best Fight. Now, this comes from Entertainment Tonight, E.T. Online. And you're thinking, Jeff, E.T., they suck, just like E. Well, they do. But I want to give a quick shout-out to E.T. Canada, because there is a man by the name of Roz Weston who is the most honest reporter in the media. Look him up. We talked about him last year in regards of Solo. We've talked about him. He's aware of what a shill is. He's very honest. He's not afraid to go up against Disney, and I respect him for that. And just to clarify, you don't have to dislike Disney and actively say it publicly to make me, that's not your, that's not your anti-show card. But when everything you say in regards to Disney stuff is amazing and perfect, well, I get a little weary, if you will. So, if you're drinking coffee, if you're driving a car, pull to the side of the road, because the first line of this article, I'm using the term loosely, is cringe. Higher, further, faster, baby. Brie Larson raised the bar once again. Okay. This time at the MTV Movie and TV Awards at the Barker Hangar in Santa Monica, California, while accepting the award for Best Fight for her portrayal of Carol Danvers in Captain Marvel. The actress selflessly dedicated her award to her fearless stunt doubles, Joanna Bennett and Renee Moneymaker. That's actually a really cool name. This is so cool, Larson 29 raved after And Dave Bautista represented her with the golden popcorn. First and foremost, thank you to MTV and to the fans. We don't need your thanks, Brie. Thank you for voting for this film that we're so proud of. But I wanted to take this moment to really say thank you to those two women who are standing here besides me. These are the women who trained me and were also the stunt doubles for Captain America. I guess they meant to say Captain Marvel because the article does say Captain America. She continued, I could not have made this film without them. They are really the baseline for who she is. They are the living embodiment of Captain Marvel. And of course, we've all seen the tweets with Karen, my manager, I need to see your manager haircut and all that stuff. I don't really know what to say about this one. I just find it funny. It's like the movie's not going to win an Oscar. Like, it doesn't have the cultural impact of Black Panther. So they're not even going to try. Like, if Captain Marvel gets nominated for an Oscar next year, then all kinds of pictures of varying degrees of quality need to be nominated for Oscars. Like, even critics gave Captain Marvel middling reviews. Like, was it a 60-something% on Rotten Tomatoes? Don't act like critics bought into the bullshit. Hell, Endgame has a lower... Well, no, Endgame has the higher score. It's Infinity War that has the lower score. And I personally think, it should be the inverse. But, look, Captain Marvel's not going to win an Oscar. Not even for visual effects. But what it is going to win is MTV Movie Award for Best Fight and all that crap. What was the fight? The fight versus Jude Law in the desert? The fight with, the fans? Now, I will say this. If there was an award for biggest shit show in entertainment for 2019, Captain Marvel wins that award. The first 6 months of this year were just filled with goodies from her and the media and all this garbage. And I will say, as of yesterday, Captain Marvel is no longer the most protected film. In the video I made, I talk about the Last Jedi, and now with this brave new scientific research, well, I'm going to go with The Last Jedi. It's still the most protected film in history because science now proves you're a sexist if you dislike the film. I don't get the reasoning behind it. Well, I get the reasoning behind it. I don't get the logic behind it. It's like, look, the study... I don't know who paid for the study, why the study exists, and I don't know why they're making it almost 2 years after the film came out. Like, if Disney has something to say about the film, if they had something to say about the film, it's over and done with. But with this new study, it's like, it's too late, dude. The Rise of Skywalker, which means nothing, according to Kathleen Kennedy, comes out in, 6 months and a day? Last Jedi's over, but no, they gotta make it. They gotta try to get the last word in. They say he who laughs last laughs best. Well, the fandom menace is gonna laugh last and the best because we're gonna dictate the outcome for a lot of these things. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Alec Munoz says, "Have you seen the leaked future of the MCU?" Woke. Alec, I have not. If you could just at me in the chat with a list of some of the films, I'd gladly talk about them, because today, one of the main reasons outside of the DJD show for us joining or having a Good Morning Pop Culture was some Marvel talk. Now, you guys know I'm very passionate about one Marvel character, Spider-Man, and we had some Spider-Man news, and we'll get to that in a couple of minutes. Let me get caught up on some of the chat. But for a brief moment, it looks like we were about to come into something glorious, and then we were shot down. Ham Sandwich says, sorry, that's a joke between me and Phil. Paul Rubens gifted Cal Art students with class rings. I did not know that. I like Paul Rubens. I'm a fan. He seems like a decent guy. It's funny, when he got in trouble in the 90s, and I don't even need to say what he did, I just remember going into, like, grocery stores, and it would say, Pee Wee Herman arrested, this, that, and the other, and I was like, what did Pee Wee do? And my mom made a point to tell me and make sure everyone told me that Pee Wee got in trouble for showing his underwear to Miss Yvonne. And I had that's what I believed for like a decade until I was 13 and I saw the Eat True Hollywood story of Paul Rubens and I went, that's what he did. And I was just like, okay, whatever, shit happens. But yeah, cool. It's almost 9 p.m. here, it says Amy Minty, so it is Good Evening Pop Culture. I like the idea of doing a night show. I can make that happen. It's 2:54 in Germany. Really? I haven't been to Germany in many years. I want to go back. Brush up on my language. Kenny Power says, it's sad to say Halle Berry is 52 and she looks way younger than Brie Larson. Yeah, Halle Berry does look better than Brie Larson, and Halle Berry was not an offensive part of John Wick 3. I really wish we could get over, not we, the Phantom Menace members seem to be the logical bunch, the reasonable bunch, but the people who make entertainment, the ones who have the big egos, the ones who think they're doing everything first, and we're going to talk about some firsts in a moment, but the people who think they're doing all these first with a female superhero is groundbreaking. No, we've had films since 1984, since before I've been alive. It's 35 years since Supergirl came out. Varying degrees of quality. The same thing goes with every superhero. The only well, no, I can't even say that. Well, we'll go with Iron Man. Iron Man's never been in a truly garbage tier film. Like Iron Man 2 is hit and miss at points, but 1 is amazing. 2 is okay, 3 is good, and then all the Avengers movies have been great, and his, Civil War appearance is great too. But I'm thinking like a Batman. He's had Batman and Robin. Spider-Man had the Amazing franchise, which is dog shit. We had the bad Captain America movie in 1990, directed by Albert Pune. So I almost said Captain America. That was my original choice, but I forgot about that one. That was one of the first superhero movies I saw as a kid. I grew up on Batman, watched it all the time, but I was a Marvel fan. So I would watch the cartoons. I believe I had the Spider-Man game by the time I saw Captain America the movie. And I'm talking the Spider-Man game from the 94 cartoon. So this would have been about mid-95. So Batman was kind of like my main jam, and then Spider-Man was right up there too. But Batman had movies and more toys. Spider-Man had some toys and the cartoon. That's neither here nor there. But that movie is terrible. And when we get to new stuff, like Halle Berry and John Wick 3... she's not like a female action hero is not a big deal. We've had him for decades, and she did a good job. She's in the movie, she tells her story, and she leaves. There's nothing about I need to prove myself. Or it's not heavy-handed, to quote Dion. It's very well done, and I'm not a Halle Berry fan, but I like her more now than I used to because I was like, that's refreshing. I thought they were going to make her whatever, but they didn't. Thundercats Ho says, Captain Marvel never really feels like she was originally designed to be an Endgame. All her scenes could have been done by someone else or easily altered to fit. Now, I live by the theory that she was in the film more, and they cut her out. Because she doesn't feel at home in Endgame at all. Like, yeah, her movie exists, whatever, but if you listen to the E.T. interview from a couple months ago, wow, this year's gone by quick, but the E.T. interview for the build-up to Endgame, she talks about how she filmed Endgame first and then went back and did Captain Marvel. And it shows that, or for me at least, the stuff that was in her film, or the stuff of her in Endgame, it's early still, it just doesn't seem to fit. Like, she just randomly shows up to save Tony Stark. She just, and then she leaves. She's like, well, I got other stuff to do. It feels very like forced edict, and the Russo brothers were like, look, it's not going to fit, but we have to put her in because Disney's making us. Nobody really wanted her in the film. She felt out of place. That's why she's out of for 90% of the movie. After the Thanos fight in the beginning when they cut his head off, she's up and gone. You don't see her until the very end when she comes back for the fight, and it doesn't really fit thematically or make sense. The reason I say this, though, that I think she was cut out is because there was that Reddit leak that discusses all sorts of crazy things, and most of them came true, especially the Hulk's arm and all these other elements. But they talk about how there's 2 cuts of the film. I think there are 2 cuts of the film. More Captain Marvel, less Captain Marvel. Thankfully, we got less Captain Marvel because I'm not going to continue to say, well, Disney bought all the tickets for Captain Marvel. But that movie made $1 billion really quick, and then they stopped talking about it instantly. It's like, it made $1 billion, bye. It's like they wanted to, use it to prove a point, continue the build for Endgame, and then it kind of left. It was very odd. That's all I'll say. Hi, Pete, 1972. All right, so, well. Shout out to Star Wars for Life for kicking our bots out. I appreciate it. Now, our friend Logan Michael has a question. Super chat. He says, most underrated toy line. I think it's Secret Wars. Secret Wars was before my time, so I don't really have much love for it. I know the Kenner Superpowers line was bigger, and I think better. More articulation, better sculpts, bigger toy line. It's weird. I read an article the other day, Logan Michael, from Jim Shooter. Now, if you don't know who Jim Shooter is and you're a Marvel fan, look up Jim Shooter. He was the editor-in-chief, late 70s, good chunk of the 80s, I believe. He came up with, like, creators' rights. Well, not he didn't come up with it, but he, like, pushed for creators' rights and back-end royalty deals and stuff like that. Like, the guy may have rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, but at the same time, he really did a lot for comic books. And the 80s is the best decade for Marvel, in my opinion. I've actually been sitting down maybe 2 or 3 issues a week, been reading old 80s Spider-Man comics. I got to the issue where the Hobgoblin first appears, which I've read probably a dozen times. I have the issues. But it's a really good run. John Romita Jr. is the artist. His dad inks him. It's funny. As a kid, I used to love John Romita Jr. Then I went through this period where I didn't like him, and now I'm back to like thinking he's great when he's inked by the right people. So if you're a comic book artist, you understand what that means. Sorry, I digress. But Jim Shooter in this article said how in the 80s they almost got DC Comics like to publish the books because DC was losing money but making a lot of money from merchandise. And Marvel was making money from publishing but barely had any merchandise, maybe just Spider-Man. So, to me, that is why the toy line Secret Wars is what it is. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. Underrated toy line. I'm trying to look at my shelf and see if there's anything that I love that doesn't get the love it deserves. Unpopular opinion, Logan Michael, I'll say James Bond Jr. had a damn good toy line. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Because it had him, the bad guys, cars, motorcycles, scuba cycles, all kinds of stuff. It was a pretty cool toy line. Crash Dummies was a good toy line, too. So let's see. Pete 1972, you gotta go see John Wick 3. You gotta go see it. So Alton Munoz is with clarification says it's on Reddit, so take it for what it's worth. But apparently Black Panther 2 will be heavily political. Doctor Strange 2, same thing. Hawkeye, they're replacing with Kate Bishop. Well, I will be replacing that film with anything from DC. I'll go see Joker, which is rated R. It's funny how the internet wants you to believe that this cringe woke identity politic trash is going to be popular, but it's not. Brands are popular, and they're going to try to put that in there. And people can go to other brands. Just hope that Marvel never, or Disney never acquires DC, because that'll be the end for comic book movies in general. I do think we're slowing down, and rightfully so we should. Having an Avengers team that's got one white person on it to prove a point, there's no point to be proven. There's popular characters and there's unpopular characters. And Black Panther is a popular character. He's been part of the Avengers for a long time. First appeared in the Fantastic Four. A lot of people like him. I never had a problem with him. I had a problem with the build around the movie. And the movie was okay. 7 out of 10 is, I think, what we gave it last year. And I own it, I think. But I haven't watched it since I saw it in theaters. I don't really need to. I think the biggest missed opportunity with Black Panther, instead of him trying to come to America and right the wrongs in the inner city, I think you should have Black Panther be a globe-trotting superhero. He can't fly like Iron Man, so it's not like... Remember when Iron Man 3 and he's out in... wherever he's at with Rhodey, then he jumps in his suit and flies home and all this stuff. Maybe you have Black Panther just do all kinds of crazy stuff. And, big shout-out to our buddy Etep Wakuian's Place to Be Reviews. Check him out. He just sent me the exact list of all of the rumored MCU flicks. So, we have Doctor Strange 2, Black Panther 2, Shang-Chi. I'm okay with that. I hate my neighborhood. Shang-Chi's okay. The reason Shang-Chi might feel out of place is because it was created in the 70s during the Bruce Lee kung fu movie boom. And it's a product of its time. Now, I'm all for martial arts flicks. I like The Raid. I love The Raid. And I've seen a lot of other ones. I'm all for those types of films. And I don't think you should try to politicize, like, oh, it's our first Asian... It's like, look it. First Asian, nothing. If you're going to say it's our first Asian superhero, well, fuck, Jackie Chan's a superhero in my book, and he does his own stunts. I don't need to be told that some actor who's going to be on wires is a real hero for children of a, whatever. No, you had Jackie Chan for decades. Bruce Lee. You've had tons of martial artists that I'm forgetting. What's his name? Robin Shou, the guy that played Liu Kang. Like, you had tons and tons of these martial artists who acted and did a great job, and we all grew up watching them. So to me, Shang-Chi could be awesome. It has to be better than Iron Fist, because fuck Iron Fist. That show is trash. The Eternals, I don't know how I feel about the Eternals. I'm not too concerned about that one. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that scale, because I know they're trying to go cosmic, like it says Nova here in Thor 4. Black Widow, I'd watch that movie, as well as Thor 4. Captain Marvel 2, no thanks. Ant-Man 3, I keep hearing that could get canceled. I don't know what I would do if we got rid of Ant-Man 3. There's just something so nice about Paul Rudd. I really don't want to, get rid of him in the Marvel Universe. He's such a good guy. Let's see, how do I ban the bots? Let's see. Hide user on this channel. Boom. Okay, sorry. I was trying to take care of some of these bots. They didn't pop up on the podcast the other night, so shout out to Jeff the Iron Wolf. Thank you for your $1 super chat. We appreciate it. Or I appreciate it. Okay, it looks like we're all caught up. Reality's Frank says, I'm really liking the new format on the standalone videos. Well, thank you, Frank. I wanted to try something different to spice it up. I didn't really see a decline in views in terms of, like, what people like. I just wanted to do something different. And honestly, it's to speed up the process. Because when I don't have visual gags or puns, I just put myself there and, people can see what I look like. That's a drawing from the comic book, fully colored, and it's a quicker way to get stuff done. So thank you, Frank. Yeah, Joe, I'm surprised MTV's still around as well. I actually liked James Bond Jr. Dude, James Bond Jr. got me into James Bond proper. So I'll always have a special place. It'll always have a special place in my heart. I had both video games for the Nintendo and Super Nintendo. I had a Halloween costume. I'll never forget. I took piano lessons as a kid. And my mom, we had lessons on, like, Halloween. And they let you dress up. So I went in my James Bond Jr. costume. And it was a dumb costume because it was like a vinyl bodysuit. It had, like, blue pants, and then he was on the chest. It was like a Ben Cooper costume, I think, and it had a mask of him, and it said James Bond Jr. across the chest. And I went to sit down, and it ripped in the pants. So what I did that night is I went home, and I got a pair of jeans. I think my mom bought me a red t-shirt, and then I had, like, this fleece jacket, and I put that on with the mask, and I had a better James Bond Jr. costume than the licensed James Bond Jr. costume. So, yes, I love James Bond Jr., no shame. Watched it all the time as a kid. Have I watched it as an adult? No, not really. I have good memories of it. It's very 90s, I remember. Everyone had mullets and fucking high tops, but one day we'll go back and watch it, and I'll let you guys know. I'll let you guys know. Okay, let's see. Geek Talk Society says, emotionally gutting. How's it going, folks? Well, Geek Talk Society, yes, I was emotionally gutted after watching Star Wars: The Force Awakens. That got me, man. But it got me to here, so I'm glad everyone found us and has joined us and stuck with us through all these years now. It's multiple years on this channel. We're going on 4 years of world-class bullshitters. I know it sounds crazy. You're thinking, I just got involved with the Fandom Menace. I hope it doesn't go away. No, we're not going away. We're only getting bigger. We got some stuff planned. I got some stuff planned. You're not going to want to miss anything we do. Like, surprise random morning shows or videos or shit like that. So, always be on the lookout for stuff that I'm making. Okay, so, back to Etep Okoyan's thing. Yeah, I want Ant-Man to come out. They also have rumored Warlock, Thunderbolt, Spider-Man Academy, Spider-Man Dimensions, Captain Marvel, and the Valkyries, and they've commissioned a script for the Dark Avengers, but are developing young and new Avengers scripts as well. Let me break that down for a minute there, Etep Okoyan's Place to Be reviews. Warlock would probably be Adam Warlock. I'm okay with that. The Thunderbolts, that's a cool concept. Those are villains pretending to be superheroes that eventually like to become heroes, so that's cool. Spider-Man Academy, get him out of school. Get him out of school. The shit I'm reading, he's an adult, living in an apartment. It's much more interesting than him trying to, fight off, bad grades and acne. No more Spider-Man dimensions. We'll talk about Spider-Man 4 in a minute. Captain Marvel and the Valkyrie. Look, I get it. That's a rumor because people on the internet think Tessa Thompson and Brie Larson are so cute together. Hollywood, take note. All the bullshit of these people on the internet that aren't really fans, they just get invested for a few minutes. The Funko Pop generation. Where were they for Men in Black? Just saying. If a Valkyrie Captain Marvel movie is such a great concept that everyone's dying to see, Tessa Thompson would be a bigger deal. Sorry, Chris Hemsworth, you just didn't have it in you, buddy. Dark Avengers would be awesome, but you gotta have Norman Osborn to do these big storylines. Like, look, Civil War was a fun movie, and I really enjoyed it, but you did the story wrong, Marvel. There's a lot more in the comic that you should have done in the film. So, moving forward, if they're going to adapt some of these bigger, iconic, longer storylines, you gotta have the proper build. Marvel franchises that clearly don't have the proper build. Spider-Man, they have no clue what they're doing. They're just making it up as they go, and it shows. Will I see the movie? Of course I'll see the movie. Am I excited? Not really. American Trent 007 says, "Hello, boys. I'm back." Trent, shout out to you for the Independence Day reference. It's a great movie. It's my favorite. All joking aside, on the 4th of July, I listen to America Fuck Yeah from Team America World Police, do something related to Captain America, and I try to watch Independence Day every year. Now, last year I got really drunk on 4th of July. I still managed to get through Independence Day. Love that movie. AJ Journeyman, thank you very, very much for a big super chat. Hi, Jeff. Have you read Sam Hamm's revised first draft Batman? In my opinion, it's one of those rare times where the first draft is better than what was filmed. You can find it online. AJ Journeyman, I have not. I have not at all. I'm writing it down. You can hear I just took a pen. I'm going to click it. And I'm going to make a note because, like I said, Batman, you know how I feel about Batman 89. There's just something comforting about it. Let's see. Sam Hamm. First draft Batman. That actually rhymes. I'm going to write that. I wrote it down. I'm going to research that. Maybe I'll have it read, or a good chunk of it read, by tomorrow night's Batman 89 live stream. That could be a lot of fun to make those references. I'm trying to think of other first drafts that turned out to be better. You know what didn't turn out better than the finished version? Was The Last Jedi, because the first draft and the filmed version were the same thing. Thank you, Ryan Johnson. I'm sorry, but doing the research for yesterday's video reminded me just how much of a troll that guy is. He is the worst. Nope, we're not going to get into it. We're going to talk about Batman. I want to check that out. I remember listening to a podcast with Michael Uslan, the guy who taught comics at Indiana University and eventually bought the Batman rights and has been executive producer on every Batman film. I've read his story, his history of Batman becoming Batman. I think they even had Tom Mankiewicz, the guy who was involved with Superman at one point, and they were going to do one script in like 1982, and it never came to fruition. Then they were going to do a comedy with Bill Murray and Eddie Murphy. Then they were going to do this, and then they were going to do that. And at one point, Pierce Brosnan was going to be Batman, which could have been cool if he had a better accent. Point is, Batman 89 is an achievement, and Batman 89 is also the last the last blockbuster of the Star Wars era. Now, hear me out. I'm not saying Batman and Star Wars are similar. What I am saying is they're the blockbuster, pre-digital era blockbuster. We're talking grandiose scale, epic scores, big effects, all done practically. Hybrid effects, too. Batman has animation in it. A lot of people don't notice that or realize it. The opening shot, the first shot of Batman you see in the film is not Michael Keaton. It's actually an animation of Batman on a rooftop. And if you watch the film in HD, it doesn't look too good. But that's not the point. Once you get into the 90s with Jurassic Park, if a big blockbuster includes CGI and it's marketed differently. But Batman and Star Wars were, of their times, the big blockbuster, movie of the decade type of thing. And I'm using quotation marks here because that's the box art graphic. But they're very similar. There's a lot of parallels. And like I said, once Jurassic Park comes out, I'd say that Jurassic Park era goes from Jurassic Park to like Spider-Man, and then you get into this, let's say Spider-Man 2, and then you get into the Nolan era, and then it moves into the Avengers era, where the movies make a ton of money, merchandising, tie-in songs aren't really a thing. But Batman was Batman the first? Well, I mean, Back to the Future had a song, Power of Love. Other movies had songs, Flashdance. A lot of movies in the 80s had songs. But that was it. You go see the movie, you get the soundtrack, you get the Tiger Beat magazine with Tom Cruise on the cover and a couple other things, and that's it. But Batman, like Star Wars, you had this plethora of just merchandise, shirts, hats. You can get your hair cut in the Bat logo like Kevin Smith used to talk. It's funny. I was at Panera with my mom this morning, and this guy, his name's Jason, shout out to him because he listens to the show. He was talking about how his dad still has his vintage Batman shirt that they gave out for free at the drive-in. So I'm like, damn. That's going back. But Batman had the songs. They had multiple songs. They had the whole Prince soundtrack, and then it had the movie score. I prefer the movie score, but Party Man and Trust are damn good songs. But I've been thinking a lot about that movie, and I'm hoping that at Comic-Con in about, a month from now? Comic-Con's a month. Mattel and DC really milk the hell out of Batman 89, because I'm a sucker for that movie, and I probably buy everything they make. So... AJ Journeyman, though, it is written down right here. Sam Hamm, first draft Batman script. On my other computer. I'm going to check it out. Thank you very much. Rama, thank you very much. Your opinion on Downey Jr. supposedly wanting Ironheart in the next MCU phase. Never really liked how they introduced Ironheart in the comics. Well, Rama, I don't like Robert Downey Jr.'s opinion on wanting to introduce Ironheart in the next phase of the comics. I don't like the character of Riri Williams. Now, shout out to your boy Zach. Back, early 2016, 2017, we were doing this podcast, but before we became a channel, I used to watch every Diversity in Comics video. And I researched Riri Williams. I have a website where I can read every Marvel book for free the day they come out. I tried to read the books, same with America Chavez, and it's trash. Marvel wanting to push forward with, you can call them the woke characters, you can call them whatever. Iron Man is a brand unto himself. A 15-year-old black girl you're gonna get to a point where suspension of disbelief just can't happen anymore, or suspension of belief, or whatever it is. Excuse me, it's still early. It's under 10 o'clock, or before 10 o'clock. I don't like the idea. I don't like how she's introduced. I don't want his daughter taking over. I don't want anybody taking over. Iron Man's dead. You can have War Machine in movies and have that similar Iron Man-like character, and that's it. Tony Stark is Iron Man. You know, you get these characters that are just the character. They don't have other interpretations. You can't have Kmart Iron Man or Lady Iron Man or whatever like that. It doesn't work. You can't have another actor play Iron Man either. Robert Downey Jr., I am Iron Man, and he embraced it, and it's over and it's done with. If anything, they can bring him back. But this Ironheart shit, these other versions of characters, I know it sounds good now, but the mighty can fall. Marvel can make a movie that fails at the box office. Disney makes movies that fail at the box office. Does anybody remember Dumbo? No, not really. People aren't talking about Dumbo. There was decades where Disney would make animated films and they wouldn't hit at the box office. I mean, we can fall back into that bad superhero category. And to clarify, it's not a black thing, it's not a female thing, it's that you're taking a character that everybody loves and giving a version that no one gives a shit about. Okay? A male Captain Marvel movie, a female Captain Marvel movie, whatever. Captain Marvel, the character, has never been a big brand. Now, if you do the Marvel with the cancer and stuff, that could have been compelling. But we have a trend with mostly these identity politics characters that we can't put them in peril, we can't put them in any kind of life events that are intriguing or relatable. I'm not saying super powered cosmic cancer is relatable, but we've all known someone that's died from cancer. My uncle passed away last year from cancer. You watch the slow decline, you understand, you can compare. But Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers' version, is perfect. She has no problems. Oh, I kind of like dating Rhodey. That's so sophomoric. Who gives a shit? Give these characters some meat. Give these characters something to really, really struggle with. Perfect example. I'm reading the Spider-Man book, and Spider-Man needs money to pay the rent because he had just come off of this, I don't want to say case because he's not a detective, excuse me, but he was he was working for the Bugle, obviously, and him and this guy, Ben Urich, the black dude from Daredevil that got killed by the Kingpin. He and Ben Urich were working together to get the scoop on this guy named Nose Norton, who was an informant for a mafia you thought a mafia thing. So anyway, they go down to the docks. They go to shoot to meet Nose Norton. The tarantula attacks, and Nose Norton gets shot. Spider-Man goes back. He's like, I got all the photos. They're going to be great. Blah, 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 blah. There's a $1,500 bonus. And this is like 1982 money, so $1,500. Still to this day, still good money. Anyway, he goes back. The photos are blurry. The Bugle can't use them. Spider-Man still broke. Heartbreaking. The next thing, it still connects this Nose Norton to a big international conglomerate. He gets more photos of this lab. The radiation ruined his film. Like, just little bitty things like that. Like, you always want to see your characters fight, to struggle, to to do better. Because then when they have that big payoff, when Peter gets, his teaching job, or he and Mary Jane get married, it's this big event, and it's like, okay, cool. But life goes on. And like in real life, there's no happy ending because it never ends until you're just dead. You can get married and be very happy and have a great marriage, but it's not like everything else just like stops and it's that one idyllic sense of perfectness. New Marvel characters have that problem. A lot of new identity politics driven characters do that because these people that create them, the people that have the desire to implement those types of characters on screen, we'll just say screen because TV is a screen too, they've never really struggled. They just bitch and whine until they get what they want, and that's how it works. Don't buy into it. That's all I can say. So, Rama, I know that was a really long way of answering your super chat. I apologize. But I am not an Ironheart supporter. I am not a supporter of a Jean-Paul Valley Batman. I'm not even a supporter of a Dick Grayson Batman. I want Bruce Wayne. Only Terry McGinnis would I buy into because of Batman Beyond, but that's a whole nother can of worms that I'll gladly get into because I love that show. Love that show. But thank you very much, Rama. Pete, 1972. I'm all about it, man. This whole first shit, and you're gonna be surprised. One of our listeners on our Facebook group sent me a Cyberpunk 2020. It's like a game, and it talks about. It has these eerie firsts. Now, I'm pretty sure these are just screenshots from the game book manual, but I'm going to read them to you in a little bit, and you're going to see some chilling similarities to where we live today. I hope it's legit. That's why I'm not making a video. We're going to talk about it here. Let's see. Do I buy the theory that Ditko ripped off his Spider-Man costume from a Ben Cooper design? Well, Didgeridoo Duke, I have heard that before. Shout out to you for knowing what that is. So I have heard that. I have seen the images. I don't know. Maybe he could have. I'm one of those people that while I like and respect and love the old comic artists, people swiped, people copied, people did whatever. It was a different time. Could it have happened? Maybe so. I'm not saying Ditko is perfect. There's also a lot of confusion with the way old comics were done. Like Jack Kirby swore that he created Spider-Man with Joe Simon, but it was a different character called Spider-Man. So there's all these different things that go on. But I could buy into that theory that Spider-Man was ripped off from the Ben Cooper costume. You never know. I find it a very interesting thing. Oh, let's see. Oh, sorry, the chat jumped. Crap, sorry guys. Okay, there we go. Now we're back. Alec Munoz says, with the MCU going multiverse, nothing has any consequences. Iron Man is dead in this universe, but alive in another. Thanos won in another. None of it matters. No ramifications or consequences now. I get it. Believe me, I get it. I don't like that there are no consequences. And look at the multiverse thing. The people that make comic book stuff now just aren't as qualified. I know that sounds crazy. You're thinking, well, look what they did with the Marvel movies. They made $20 billion in 10 years. That's qualification enough. Yes, it is. But the people that write this stuff, one, they don't either think of long term, or they don't think about the care. Like the Spider-Man 1 and 2 still hold up today. They have great stories. They have great moments. One of my favorite moments is when the Green Goblin's like, I've been like a father to you, be a son to me. I have a father, his name is Ben Parker. That's a cool, powerful moment. The Marvel movies are just light, fun fare. It's like, I am Iron Man. Okay, cool. Now, it pays off in the end game, but that's not what I'm trying to get at. What I'm trying to get at, though, is that without consequences, you don't take anything seriously. Death doesn't mean anything in these movies unless you're Quicksilver, because he's dead, and no one misses him. Now, I do enjoy Evan Peters' Quicksilver from X-Men, but I didn't go see Dark Phoenix, so I don't know if he has one of those slow motion moments. I know the movie takes place in the 90s, so if you saw the movie, let me know. Does he have a slow motion moment to a song? Because he had Led Zeppelin in Days of Future Past, Sweet Dreams in Apocalypse, which is a terrible movie, but it was a cool scene. And then we had whatever in the third one. Didn't see it, don't know. But, yeah, I don't like the idea of a multiverse. That is a DC thing. And even in the 70s and 80s, 80s when they did Crisis on Infinite Earths and rebooted it, they still treated it with the gravity and the respect it deserved. The Flash died. They had a new Flash come in. I really miss the old school approach of a little thing called respect. Respect your audience, your fan base, respect their intelligence too. I'm so tired of living in an era where my intelligence is insulted, and then once I call you out, because I'm self-aware enough to know you're making fun of me or mocking me, as Buzz Lightyear would say, then you call me a sexist and a racist, and I can't get down with that. That is no good in my book. So, Alec Munoz, again, thank you very much, but I don't like alternate universe things. I don't want alternate universe Thor with two eyes to come in, because here's the thing. We've already seen how this can be done poorly. Do you remember Thanos, and do you remember Nebula in Endgame? And how... Or no, not Nebula. What's her name? Zoe Saldana's character. Oh, God, Gamora. You remember how, like, the characters had to... we, the audience, have the emotional connection to the characters. We've been on this journey with them for how many years? And then it starts over new again, and you're like, oh, yeah, Nebula's going to say this, or, you know the character, you get a sense of what's going to happen. Oh, I'm a different Nebula. I look exactly the same, but I'm from a different time. It's like, fuck, this is not entertaining. They killed the intensity with the Thanos battle. When Scarlet Witch goes up against him, he's like, I don't even know you. Oh, you will, or whatever. That wasn't good writing. That just wasn't well done. They're going to use the box office receipts for Endgame and use that as an excuse. But I will say, I don't think Marvel can do this forever. Good luck, but it ain't going to happen. What up, Kendo? Oh, Kendo. So, we can't save the Tick. I know you're sad, but Ben Edlund said that it's dead, and it ain't going to happen. Rama says, really? You'd watch the abortive Independence Day too? Oh, I haven't watched it, and I won't watch it at all. No Will Smith, no watch. In my next video, I'm not going to give you too many hints. My theory is, or my thesis is, if you have a Will Smith property without Will Smith, it's not going to make money. It's proven true. Will Smith is great. Box office gold. King of the Summer in the 90s. Loved his movies. He did the song, the movie tie-in, sometimes the fast food crossover like Burger King with Wild Wild West. I had those sunglasses. They were awesome. But then you get lazy and you try to make these movies without him. It just doesn't work. Clearly, AJ Journeyman knows his Batman stuff, so shout out to you too. He knows the Tom Mankiewicz script. AJ Journeyman, keep listening to the show. One of these days, we'll have to have a conversation about Batman scripts and just Batman in general. The closer we get to Matt Reeves' Batman and stuff like that, World Class Bullshitters, we've got a long, healthy life ahead of us. So I love getting into the nitty-gritty behind-the-scenes stuff. It's awesome to talk about, the Patriot Act and Dark Knight. That's fine. We've exhausted it before, in my personal life at least. But it's nice to be able to have a conversation with somebody who knows who Tom Mankiewicz is, first off. Secondly, unmade Batman stuff. Unmade anything. I love it. Mr. V says, morning, Jeff. At work, just wanted to say hello. Well, Mr. V, thank you for your $2 super chat, and good morning to you, too. Hopefully work is a breeze today, and you get home, and it's not raining when you get home. Secret Rebel, you only missed us talking about how Captain Marvel won an MTV Movie Award for Best Fight. Now, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, Major Award, that's not MTV. Major Award is a reference to A Christmas Story. Don't you remember when the dad, the old man, he's like, I won! It's a major award! It's the most beautiful thing I've seen in my life! It's a bowling alley. You think they're going to send a bowling alley? Well, they could send the deed, just, it's a riff on that. So if you're listening in the future and you're thinking, MTV's not a major award, Jeff, I think you're overestimating their value. No, I'm very aware that MTV is dog shit. Lewis Thompson, thank you for your super chat, sir. Hey, Jeff, just got off work. Is GMPC coming back? Well, not every day. This was I'll tell the story again because we have more people listening than we did in the beginning. One of our listeners, the DJD show, said to me, I really missed the show. And so I was on a stream with Mary Mayhem. She hit 1,000 subscribers. She said, Jeff, when I hit 1,000, can you join me? She gave me a date, plenty of time in advance. I said, sure, I'll make it. So I was there, Midnight's Edge. Jeremy was there in the beginning. We had all kinds of great YouTubers. And then after the show went off the air, I hung out with him for a little bit, just to shoot the shit, let him talk, hear what was going on. And the DJD show goes, I just want to tell you I missed the show so much, how much it meant to us. And it stuck with me, and I thought about it for a while. So here it is today. The way the scheduling works, no, I can't do it every day just yet. I want to. I love doing it in the summers. Getting up early, it's nice and bright out, have a couple cups of coffee, talk about entertainment, entertain you guys, have a conversation. But that's what's going on for right now. I still got to make videos and finish, all the artwork. So, thank you very much. I don't know where Mary Jane Watson is, SM or S4NS. I'd like her to come back. I'm a fan of the character. Pete 1972 says, Jeff, you are my number one a guy. Sorry, I had to do that. That's okay. Don't apologize. I'm just glad you didn't go Jeff Gunn and then shoot me in the stomach like Bob. I think that is like one of the worst parts of a nearly perfect film. Like, I love Batman 89, but I hate when Bob gets shot. It pisses me off so much. Ugh. Licardo Guira, thank you very much. Will MCU tackle the 5-year issue or gloss it over? In Spider-Man, Aunt May wasn't snapped, so in a short period of time she's lost Ben and Peter. I think that would be great drama to explore. Licardo, I think we will not explore that. It'll be mentioned in the first couple of minutes, and then it'll be back to Spider-Man swinging around on his cell phone to some shitty song from the deck. Well, actually, I can't say shitty because I like Blitzkrieg Bob. I think it's a pretty good song. I wouldn't call myself a huge Ramones fan, but I respect them. Point I was trying to get at. I don't think they'll tackle that at all. This is not the Sam Raimi trilogy. This is not... I don't even know who directed it. I think his name is John Watts. I don't know anything else he's directed. But this is not a Spider-Man series directed by someone who loves the character, by someone who has weight and power in Hollywood. This Spider-Man iteration is basically a movie by committee. It is controlled by Kevin Feige and those in charge at Sony, and Spider-Man is the child of a divorced family. He's spending time with Dad, spending time with Mom. When he's with Mom, we get into the Spider-Verse. When he's with Dad, we get at Homecoming. I like Spider-Man involved in the MCU. I'll admit I didn't get really teary-eyed at any part of Endgame, but the part that I went yes and kind of got excited for was when Spider-Man popped out of the portal from Doctor Strange. I will say, though, the minute he took off the mask, that feeling went away. I don't know. I guess it was just the costume, and to see Spider-Man back, I was very happy. But then it came off, and I went, whatever. But I still liked the movie. I'm not here to bitch. But specifically to answer your stuff, I don't think Marvel has the ability to make Spider-Man a heavy character like he is. There are issues where the story ends with him walking off into the distance crying. That's the first issue. Amazing Fantasy number 15 ends with him crying and walking away into the horizon, and it's nighttime, the moon. It's, Spider-Man, his life is a tragedy. We live in an era where it's Deadpool light. Now, I like jokes. I like Spider-Man being fun and funny, but you gotta do it right. And when you've taken the character who's meant to be this great tragedy, this drama, and you've turned it into a one-note joke that you think... the most basic people in the world are going to enjoy, I think you take away what makes the character great. So, no, I don't think they'll cover that. Plus, have we even mentioned Uncle Ben in the MCU? Because I haven't watched Homecoming since it first came out. I might have to rectify that. I own the Blu-ray, I think. Yeah, I got the Blu-ray. I'll have to change that and watch it for Spider-Man month, some of the content we're going to do for the channel and on our fan club, Patreon, and other platform stuff. So I'm going to be watching that, and we're going to be doing some more Spider-Man stuff, and I'll look at it. But I think with Spider-Man Homecoming, people were happy that he was back in the MCU. They sold us Iron Man. They sold us Michael Keaton. And they tried to sell you like his overtly diverse cast. And I get it. New York is not a bunch of white people. I was just in New York like 3 months ago. No, 2. Beginning of April, I was in New York. I don't expect it to be Spider-Man and his cast of classmates from 1963. But I do expect you to take Liz Allen and Flash Thompson and all those characters. Betty Brant. Betty Brant shouldn't even be in the movie. She shouldn't be the high school newscaster. She should be at the Bugle, the older woman that Peter wants to date. There's so many opportunities for drama and interesting character development that they threw out the window for jokes and references on a TV screen so people can talk about it on the internet. Like, we don't live in an era where the film is important. It's the hype surrounding the film is more important. You go see the movie once, that's it. Not as many people, they think, oh, they're not going to buy it on home video, they're not going to do this. Like, I just remember, like, the first Spider-Man, May 3rd, 2002, saw it on the 5th, on that Sunday, loved it, went back and saw it the following week, got the video game, had the action figure. November 1st, 2002, the day after Halloween, took the bus to the Tri-County Mall. If you're in my area, you know what that means. I was 14 years old. Took the bus to the mall. My mom gave me her debit card with a note and made a phone call to the manager. They let me buy the DVD box set as a kid. Came home, watched, those were events. Now it's like, the Avengers comes out on home video. Okay, well, I'm going to pick it up on the way home from Best Buy and maybe look at each Chipotle and look at it. It's not like an event. Home media is not an event anymore. And I don't think it's only because of the digital distribution format. It's also because they don't make movies that are home video events. Star Wars, the original ones are still home video events somehow, but not Spider-Man. But Licardo, I don't think they'll ever mention it. It'll be mentioned like opening, then we'll get right into the adventure, and then we'll deal with Mysterio being I don't know any spoilers, this is my guess, but Mysterio is the bad guy. All the shit you see in the trailer is projections from him. There's no Hydro Man, there's no Molten Man, that's not real, that's all Mysterio stuff. Now, if this movie was all one big elaborate dream sequence or some shit like that, I would instantly make this my favorite Spider-Man movie. If they pulled the old trick on everybody and you think, oh, you're going to get the Spider-Man movie, this, that, and the other is part of the story, and then it's all one big, Mysterio-induced dream, that would be cool because you never would see that coming, and I would have so much respect for them. But they won't. Because it's going to be like, Spider-Man saves Zendaya, and she makes some snarky remarks. I can't believe we live in an era where I miss Kirsten Dunst. That's all I can say. But Licardo, I want great drama to explore from Spider-Man. I just want somebody that really cares about the character to get it. Like, get Avi Arad's ass out of there. I'm going to watch Venom soon. That'll be something I talk about for Spider-Man month coming up. I'm going to watch that. I'll watch Into the Spider-Verse. I'll get brushed up on all the Spider-Man films, and we'll talk about them. So just be prepared. Thank you, Darth Pepe. Love you right back. Let's see. Swinging Cod says, Multiverse will be a scam in Spider-Man. It's Mysterio. It's a con. He's running. Well, I didn't see your super chat before I started saying what I said, so I will go back and say to Swinging Cod, I don't believe in that. I hope that it's all a scam. I think there could be multiverse stuff because of how geek culture is, they talk about it online. Oh, this version and that version. Like, look, with Wikipedia and a few minutes of Google searching, everyone can play themselves off as an expert. I'll never say I'm an expert on Thor. I'll never say I'm an expert on Iron Man. But I'll say I know my Spider-Man pretty damn well. I'm pretty well read on X-Men, Daredevil, and a couple other characters. I know my stuff if I care about it. But I don't know if the multiverse will be a scam. I'd like it to be a scam. I think it would be very interesting. This could be, the best Spider-Man movie since 2004. Do I want it to be? Yes. I really would like to live in an era where my favorite superhero gets the respect he deserves, and I'm happy. Like, odd thing to say, but 2002 was the last time where almost all my favorite versions of something existed at the same time. Pierce Brosnan, James Bond, Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, Eminem was still awesome. Star Wars was Attack of the Clones, so I can't really give it that, but The Rock still wrestled full-time. Well, not full-time, but He was the champion and all this stuff. So 2002 was that perfect point for me. And I had a PlayStation and Grand Theft Auto, so I was a very happy boy. But we'll find out, Swinging Cod, about the multiverse being a scam. There are some great Spider-Man stories. Folks, if you would like my recommendations for Spider-Man reading, I believe it's Spider-Man 60, Amazing Spider-Man 67 through 68. Yeah, because 69 is Crisis on Campus. Read those 2 issues. Spider-Man fights Mysterio in an amusement park, and it's some of the best art. Maybe I'll show some good comic book art at the end of the stream. Yeah, sorry, Kendo. Thundercats Ho said Batman 89 as Batman Beyond's mentor in a movie. Yes. I would love to watch that in a heartbeat. Michael Keaton, and I don't know who... Look, you gotta make Terry McGinnis look like the cartoon. This isn't your time to switch up his race or make it a woman or something like that. Terry McGinnis, this Batman Beyond character, you make it look like Terry McGinnis. I would have the same argument for a Wonder Woman. If you made her blonde, played by Pamela Anderson in the 90s, I'd have been like, this isn't, Wonder Woman. So just respect the character no matter what they look like. I'm kind of getting into the mindset, maybe James Bond should have a scar. If you don't know the book reference, James Bond has a big scar over his eye. So just if they look like it for a reason, that's the character. Give us what they look like. Same thing with Mary Jane and any of the ladies in Spider-Man. Red hair, supermodel looks, Gwen Stacy, sad beauty type of thing. Perth Comics, shout out to you too for knowing your What If comics. I love my What If stories. I think was the first issue What If Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four? A really good one was What If Spider-Man was killed by Kraven the Hunter? You guys should check that out. It's kind of a sad, depressing ending, but it's a damn fine comic book. Artwork's not too great, but I love it. Logan Michael, anti-Funko Pop, says, Thundercats are gay. Oh, I don't really have a stance on Thundercats before my time. I had a Panthro action figure as a child. But I would like to get a modern Thundercats figure that looks like the cartoon. I really want to get a good-looking He-Man that looks like the cartoon. And just to put them in the collection. He-Man and Skeletor, and then the Thundercats. Just, like I said, just for part of the collection. I love to collect toys, but the older I get, I like to collect just pieces of pop culture, like relevant pieces of pop culture, and Thundercats and He-Man and G.I. Joe and stuff. Time Capsule of the 1980s. Not as great as Inspector Gadget, but, that's neither here nor there. I'm really sad, though, that Peter Serafinowicz doesn't like being the Tick, because he was the best Tick and contender for one of my favorite superhero adaptations. What is it, Lobstercules? I don't remember in the last 10 years being so happy. Well, I take that back. Avengers. But being so just happy to watch a superhero property. Every episode was fun. I loved every character from Danger Boat to Dot to Overkill. Everybody. Lint. There was not a poorly cast character in the Tick. The costumes looked great. Loved every minute of it. If I ever met Peter Serafinowicz, I'd be like, man, you were the best Tick. I know you hated the suit, but you were just great. And they upgraded the suit for season 2, and it looked even better. It's sad. I tried to watch the Patrick Warburton stuff after the Tick season 2. I can't. My Tick is Peter Serafinowicz, and then the cartoon. But I gotta watch that show. It's pronounced Fragile. It must be Italian. Didgery Duke says, thoughts on JJ Bad Robot, bad reboot contracting with Warner Brothers. Great thing, double extra, or double, wow, sorry, my phone rang at the same time. Great thing, or double extra super special death times 2 to the DCEU. It is a bad, wait, I'll talk about that in a second. Today's the anniversary of Fast and Furious. Anyway, that is bad for the DCEU. We're coming off the Suicide Squad Zack Snyder era, and we're about to enter the Todd Phillips Joker, Matt Reeves Batman, filmmaker-driven, and you're saying, well, who's Todd Phillips? Well, he did The Hangover and Old School, and he's done some really great stuff. So I like Todd Phillips. Road Trip. I really like Road Trip. Austin, Massachusetts. Sorry, I'm not getting into that movie. The point is, DC is really at a place where they need to be. If they can get the box office success of Aquaman 2 or 3 more times, I think them differentiating themselves from Marvel is a good thing. J.J. Abrams is the king of the ripoff. Now go back and watch my Star Wars videos. He is a poor man's Spielberg. He has no original ideas. He comes in, he takes shit that exists, fucks it up, and leaves. Do not let him mess up the Warner Brothers DCEU. Now, I'm not a Warner Brothers fanboy. You don't sit and hear me go on and on about how much I love everything they've done. But I did love Aquaman. I really liked Shazam. I like Justice League. And Wonder Woman's a really damn fine film. So, overall, DC is just as important to me as Marvel. Because you would say, well, Marvel movies, this, that, and the other. And yes, I've always preferred the Marvel comic books. But in the 90s, when I was growing up, DC had the TV presence and the movie presence over Marvel. And you're thinking, Jeff, what about Spider-Man, the animated series, and X-Men? Great shows. But for every one of those, you also had Fantastic Four, you had Spider-Man Unlimited, you had that really shitty Iron Man cartoon, which I did watch as a kid and had the toys and liked back then. You had the Hulk. They were kind of iffy, and the thing is, they weren't easily accessible. They were on different channels. Like, UPN was hard to access as a kid here. It was channel 25, and the antenna didn't really get it. So to catch Hulk was a rare thing. Fantastic Four was just shitty. Like, these shows, Marvel didn't have all winners. Now, on the other hand, in the 90s, cartoon-wise, you had Batman the Animated Series, debut in 1992. You had Superman. You had Batman Beyond. A little later, you had Static Shock. Maybe Static Shock was before Batman Beyond. But you just had a lot of hit after hit. And Superman the Animated Series was as good as Batman the Animated Series. Just, different characters. I don't want JJ coming in there and ruining it. I want them to be different, Marvel and DC, pronouns. But I also want J.J. Abrams as far away as possible, because we saw what he did with Star Trek. He ruined Star Wars. And the thing is, in Hollywood, if your name has a lot of power, you can make changes arbitrarily and no one questions you because you're J.J. Abrams. I think he's full of it. I want to meet him one day. I want our channel to grow so big. I want to be able to take our own comic books that we're making, turn them into properties, and get a presence out west. And I'm not going out there with a vengeance to tell JJ off, but if he ever got involved with any of our projects, I'd be like, no, I think this is a bad idea, and I'm not going to buy into your hype and bullshit like everyone else does. I hate your ideas for almost everything. So, sorry, that's a long, long way. Let's see. Sorry, this chat froze up on me. There we go. So, Kevathar1138 is very sharp. He says, Patreon alternative? ? Yes, there will be more news on Thursday night. So, if you're listening and you back us on Patreon, you've been getting regular content for years. Everything from commentaries to requests. You get a bonus podcast every week called World Class Bullshitters After Hours. I'm not going to announce it now. I know you sent in a super chat, Kevathar, and I appreciate it very much. I will announce it on Thursday when everything is taken care of. You will get your information, and we will talk about it then. But there will be Patreon alternatives, and in July, there will be another big announcement for the channel. All positive. No, we're not going away. Nobody's leaving the show. Nothing like that. Another good announcement. So just keep watching, keep listening. Kevathar, you're here all the time, so I don't really have to tell you to keep listening. But just be on the lookout for those out there listening. There is a Patreon alternative coming, and it will feature the same content. So if you're on one and you don't feel like changing, well, don't. You're not going to lose out. But if you want to jump to the other one, you're going to get the same stuff. So we'll be talking about that more on Thursday. And we got something really exciting. And I'll tell you this now, this part. It's Star Wars Celebration. Anna, that Star Wars girl, Jesse Milestone of Mindless Entertainment, myself, and all the World Class Bullshitters got together over at their hotel. And we watched Game of Thrones on the first night it debuted, but then we also played a game of $1 Million Butt. Now, we thought that the footage had been lost. Well, thanks to the tireless work of one Samoan soccer mom, Nick Utam, he got it. So, in the coming days, I can't promise by Thursday, because I think he's got to finish editing we filmed it in 4K. Oops. He's got to downgrade it and do all this shit. But we got our game edited and ready to go. So that's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be at a certain tier. We'll talk about all that shit. But we're going to give you guys a more inside look at who we are, what we are all about. And Just give you a lot of content, a lot of video content coming up. So, thank you, Kevithar1138. Let's see. Shroomy Cardin says, Muff Daddy, how do we change the address for stealing Solo? Okay, so Shroomy Cardin, what you do is you log in to your Indiegogo account, and there is an alternative. I think it'll be in your dashboard. I get a lot of email notifications of people changing the address all the time. I'm almost done. I'm at the very, very end. We're talking very few, like a couple of pages, and that's it. I can't tell you what's on those pages. Nick knows. Kendo knows. They've seen it. It looks cool. I'm very proud of the last page I finished. The next one's going to be just as good, and we're almost at the end of the story. And I really can't wait to show it to you guys, because we're going to have a lot of fun, and there may be even more coming from us sooner than you think. But Shroomy Cardin, just go to Indiegogo, and I think you just go to update contact information. I will give you guys plenty of time before I close the thing to change the contact information, and I will make sure I make plenty of announcements that even if you were to miss the cutoff date of changing your address, I will make announcements to let you to get in contact with you guys. Do not worry. Nobody will miss out on a book. Nobody will miss out on a book. And I stress the word book because I looked at the page count, and it's going to be like the 30 Days of Night graphic novel size. So it'll be an actual graphic novel now, not a comic book, graphic novel. Hope you guys like it. Secret Rebel says Endgame was trash. You know, I like it less and less the more I watch it, but I don't hate it. I gotta watch it again, but it's a solid. It was an 8. It might be a 7.5 in my mind right now. I just gotta rewatch it. I don't want to keep thinking about it because I might get mad and bump it down out of anger. That's all I can say. Perth Comics, I'd have loved to film Drinking with Cecil. Cecil was so nice, but couldn't film him. Sleepy asks, ever read Spider-Girl comics by Tom DeFalco? Personally, one of my favorite comics. Yes, Sleepy, I have. So her name is Mayday Parker. And so, for those out there, the universe is a little different. It's a multiverse, or an alternate reality, where Spider-Man had lost his leg in a battle with the Green Goblin, and stopped being Spider-Man, and his daughter has taken over the character. I think Ron Frenz and Sal Buscema were the artists, and Tom DeFalco wrote the book. Hold on, I got my Spider-Man book next to me. Let me pull this out. The advantage of living in a library. Ugh. There we go. Okay. So, I'm going to make a video about this later on. Not Spider-Man or Spider-Girl, but the Spider-Man book I own. So, where are we at? Alternate realities of Spider-Man. Relaunch. Where's the Spider-Girl stuff at? Here we go, yeah. So, yeah. Spider-Girl lives in an alternate timeline, a future that might have been. In her reality, Peter and Mary Jane are still married, still living happily ever after. But their baby, named May, survived. During this final battle with Spider-Man, the original Green Goblin was killed and Peter lost his right leg. So Spider-Man retired from crime fighting, and Peter eventually got a job as a forensic scientist for the NYPD. His family moved back into Aunt May's house in Forest Hills. May grew up without learning that her dad was once the friendly neighborhood web-slinger. Then one day, May discovered she had inherited some of his very special powers. And yeah, that looks like Sal Buscema artwork. See, I guess... Now that's an alternate timeline I'm okay with, a female version of whatever. Look, I don't have any problems with the Spider-Women or the Spider-Girl characters or anything like that. I don't have any problems with female superheroes whatsoever, but I don't like when you bastardize the namesake. Like, alternate reality where he's hung it up. You know, she can't emasculate Spider-Man and do all this shit. No, she just she does her own thing. She exists in her own reality. And it's been a while. I know I have some of the issues. But I'm up on the character, Sleepy. Thank you very much. The Pwee. Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, the Pwee. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad everyone's here. But press 1 if you're enjoying Good Morning Pop Culture. I'm having a fun time this morning. And I thought, we'll do it from 8 to 10 or whatever. I'm just like, when it ends, it ends. Fuck it. It's great. Let's see. I haven't had a chance to check out Batman vs. Ninja Turtles yet. Morgrog Skullrocka. Not yet. I will, though. I will. I got the comic. Fun trivia, Batman 89 VHS was the first movie to come out on VHS the same year as its theatrical release. I think I knew that, but I'm going to say you taught me something anyway, just to be safe. I don't want to take credit. Yeah, because the movie came out in June, and I think it was out in time for Christmas 89, which, again, that's another first that brought us into the modern era of the way we consume the movie, you know? See it in theaters, enjoy it over the summer, own it that Christmas, boom, it's yours. And I got a copy of that on VHS. I got my original, and I also got the copy from Salvador, and I love it. The reason I love Batman 89 on VHS is because of the commercials before the movie. The Warner Brothers catalog and the Diet Coke ad just take me back. I can remember them, and boom, right off the top of my head. Same thing with Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I remember those because we had the Diet Coke, just for the taste of it, Diet Coke, and the lady and her husband are watching Raiders of the Lost Ark on TV, and she's like, "You want anything?" He's like, "Yeah, give me a Diet Coke." And she goes in to the kitchen, and like the floor breaks apart, and all of a sudden like some shit's happening, and she falls, and then Indiana Jones grabs her, and like they swing across this chasm in the kitchen, and he like whips a Diet Coke out of the air, and she's like, "Oh," and then he like pushes her out of the door, and like this like stone tablet closes the door off, and then she hugs her husband or something and hands him the Diet Coke. And the Batman one's just as hokey. Like, it's Alfred on the phone. He's like, "Yeah, we're out of Diet Coke. The car's coming. It's a black car, very distinct." And it says, "Just for the taste of it, Diet Coke." And they put a Diet Coke can with a Batman cape. It's so corny, but I absolutely love it. Oh God, I'm grinning ear to ear thinking about it. Man, it's taking me back. Commander Pluto says, "Love what you do, and I hope you keep on doing it." Well, Commander Pluto, I will keep on doing it. We got all you guys and ladies, guys and girls out there, who continue to support the channel by watching the videos and backing us, and we appreciate all that. And through your love and support, I'm always motivated to be here all the time. Normally, people say, "Oh, I have to work every day and I hate it." I love it. It's like, "Oh, I'm hanging out with my friends. That's cool. I really want to get home and work on whatever or do this because I really enjoy everything I do here on YouTube." It's taken me a while to find my niche, but I found it. And it's cool that it's in this digital landscape that is the future. It's not like we're trying to get involved in a dying medium. It's not like I'm trying to start a magazine or something that I'm passionate about, but people don't buy magazines anymore. No, I'm involved in something that is accessible from everyone's cell phone, and as technology gets better, we get better. So thank you very much, Commander Pluto, for the support and the comment, and I'll keep doing it. Believe me, I enjoy it all the time. I enjoy doing it every day. Okay, so Echo Based Network, thank you very much. Over under 30% Shatner gives a dollar amount to do an interview with Doomcock. So glad to finally see DC's childhood hero unblock him on Twitter. I don't know what the over under would be. I thought we could have raised 20 grand. Honestly, you're thinking that's crazy. But if 1 out of every 5 people gave a dollar here on the channel, or we just did a high council where everybody gave a couple bucks, we could have that in an evening. Now, Doomcock and I would want to be involved because I threw the challenge out there to Bill Shatner, but that's my guess. 20 grand. Do I think it could be done for less? I don't know. Shatner seems like a pricey guy, but I don't know if he's going to respond. All I can say is retweet him. The offer stands. We'll find a way. We will find a way. It goes to charity. It helps out those in need, and it entertains you guys, and that's what matters to me the most. Now, I don't know why Doomcock was blocked by William Shatner in the first place. I like William Shatner as an actor. Obviously, I love Captain Kirk. I really like him, though, in The Twilight Zone more than anything. And there's just something about his face that scares me. Probably because he was the Michael Myers mask. But that's a story for another time. But it is cool that Doomcock got unblocked. I just want to hang out with Doomcock. That is one of the YouTubers. Gary and Doomcock are number 1 and 2 on my list of guys. Well, actually, just both 1. They're just 2 guys I want to hang out with and meet. Like, I've met you, Echo Base Network. You're awesome. You came to our meet and greet. That was a lot of fun. I've met quite a few people out there that are listening right now. But Doomcock and Gary, they live in different parts of the country. They're a little too far. Infinite Wander says, "I'm still waiting for the death battle. For Death Battle to do the Tick versus the Crimson Chin. The Ham. Oh, dear God, the Ham." I would love to see the Crimson Chin versus the Tick. For those out there, the Crimson Chin was a fake superhero from Cincinnati on the Fairly Odd Parents, and he was awesome. and he was a red tick essentially, and I would love to see that happen. Dean Hopsoffel says, think Penguin being a chick in the Batman is true? I hope not. Again, it all boils down to staying true to the source material. If you want to do a female villain in the Batman film, cool. Everybody loves Catwoman. Talia al Ghul was fine. You could have... why am I drawing a blank on Poison Ivy? Because she hasn't been done right in a film for 22 years. And I know the film's supposed to take place in the 90s, but we live in 2019. Visual effects are at an all-time high. Imagine, okay, I would like a Batman film to bring back the death traps. And you're thinking, well, death traps were the 60s. Not necessarily just the 60s show. Batman has always faced death traps, no matter what decade. Hell, in the Arkham games, you face death traps from the Riddler and, was it Professor Pig? There's all kinds of things, death trap-wise, that Batman faces. And I would love to see Matt Reeves' Batman, yes, be a detective film, yes, be noir, yes, be scary at times, very Hitchcockian, but at the same time, the world of Batman has so many different elements. I mean, for God's sakes, his cave has a giant penny and a Tyrannosaurus Rex in it. So we live in an era where that, a character realm, that's what he lives in. That's the world he lives in. That being said, Poison Ivy would be a better alternative. Penguin, just make it a fat British guy. I don't want Danny DeVito Penguin. I want... honestly, I want second iteration animated series Penguin. A very social, erudite individual who's got a very dark side. Like, the one thing I didn't like about the Arkham design was how Penguin, I think he had like a Cockney accent and he was real dirty looking. Have him be pristine in public, and then behind the scenes he's got a completely different accent. I'm trying to think of a good example. Like a Michael Caine for the public eye, and then like a Vinnie Jones or somebody behind the scenes. Like give him almost a two-faced dynamic, a dichotomy, but at the same time, like visually, he just looks the same. That's what I'd like to see. I hope it's not true. That's all I can say. I don't like anything. I don't want Wonder Woman to be a dude. Wonder Man. Well, there's a Wonder Man. He's just, he's played by Nathan Fillion in the Guardians film, so we're cool with that. But no, please don't change it, DC. Guys, you're on a really good run. Do not mess it up. That is all I can say. All I can say. And let me remove that person, but boom. Obi-Wan Kenobi, hello there. Says, yeah, I finally caught a show live. Well, Obi-Wan Kenobi live, hello there to you too. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad everyone's here. And I'm glad you're having a good time. We see a lot of ones. So people here are really liking the show. So hit the thumbs up. Let me know. And I don't know how many people are watching because YouTube changed their system. But I don't care. I'm doing it for you guys. Good morning to you, Jason Green. Thank you very much. Batman vs. Square Enix Stunt Double Avengers. Yeah. God, that game trailer, man. Whew. I was so excited for it because you know how I feel about Avengers, especially that first film. And then you get there, and it was... not necessarily entertaining. I will say, though, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, sign me up. Quick side note, detour, if you will. So Nintendo had a big sale for E3, and I picked up a couple games because they were cheap. Got Mario Kart, Mario Odyssey, and Kirby. And I never thought I'd like Mario Odyssey because I didn't get into Mario 64 as a kid. I went from Super Nintendo, Mario World, and then I didn't buy another Mario game. Oh, God, until the Switch. Because I didn't buy any of the three. No, I take it back. I had Mario Galaxy, but I had to sell it because somebody stole my identity in college, and I desperately needed money. So I never even finished that game. But, this new one, man, it is amazing. It is great and bad at the same time because I have to turn it off or I'll sit and want to play it for hours. It's so well made. I don't even care that the Switch isn't that powerful. It looks great. It is the best looking Mario game. It's so fun. I love the hat dynamic. I just enjoy having a good time and not being bogged down by, ray tracing and 4K rendering and this many 120 hertz refresh rate. Look, I like technology. I like having a fucking beast of a machine. I got the PS4 when it was first out. Okay, it was the most powerful at the time, and I was all into that shit. But I gotta say, I'm having, hour for hour. I'm putting in a lot of hours on the Switch. I'm really enjoying it. So. Maybe on the secondary channel we'll do a live stream. We are doing a live stream on the secondary channel when I get back from Columbus. I'm going to play through the Revenge of the Sith video game, so be on the lookout for that. Quick question. If his name is Miles Morales and his dad is black and his mom is Hispanic, why does he have a Hispanic last name? Well, probably because the alliteration of MM. But I think it's not his real dad. It's like a stepdad or something. In the game, when his dad dies, I think that was the case. I don't really know, Amy. I'm sorry. I gotta look deeper into it. I'm just not. I hate the character. That's all I can say. Oh, because they wanted to hammer home his Hispanic heritage. Otherwise, he'd be Miles Davis. If peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis. That is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life. Commander Pluto says, what did you think of King of the Monsters? Well, Commander Pluto, I have not had a chance to see it yet. This past weekend, so my mom had to take a new job, kind of a shitty job, but she's off every other weekend. So when she's off, I try to spend some time with her. And this weekend would have been my first time to see Godzilla, but I ended up going with her to... Where did we go? I don't know. We went to some store. I bought shoes and I took her to breakfast and we spent some time together. I'm going to try to catch that. I really want to see that. I still want to see X-Men, even though it's terrible. Or I heard it's terrible, excuse me. Just because I've seen almost every other X-Men film in theaters to keep the tradition alive. But I haven't had a chance to watch it. All I can say is I want to, and I've been watching old Godzillas. Pete 1972, have you opened up the new Coke yet? I'm going to open it up. Here's how the new Coke goes. So, folks, Stranger Things Season 3 comes out in July. They have a special edition new Coke gift set, and I bought it, and it's here at my house. I'm going to drink the new Coke when Stranger Things 3, or Season 3 comes out. Maybe I'm going to drink it when they drink it on the show type of thing. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, but in July. And I'll do a video. I'm going to film myself drinking new Coke just to test it out. Because I tried Crystal Pepsi, I got to try all these things, and I figured, new Coke, what the hell? It's something that you guys would like to hear about. It's definitely a relic of the past. Yeah, yes, Mr. Dystopian, old PS1 commercials were incredible too. Dietrich Garbo, thank you very much. L that and add Looney Tunes ad on the Batman VHS. Yep, that was the Warner Brothers ad, because it was Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny, and he'd be like, you can get your Warner Brothers ball caps, your Warner Brothers neckties, and it would like a hand would come in and paint on the necktie, and it says, call this number. It was like a 1-900 number, so they wanted to charge you to order a catalog to buy shit. It was kind of a messed up ad if you think about it, but but yeah, Dietrich, I remember that like it was yesterday. God, I have a VHS player. Well, let me just rectify that. Growing up, we didn't call it our VHS player. We called it a VCR. And we called them tapes. I don't know why I'm getting into the whole thing. I have it on tape. I have a VCR. I should hook it up and watch it. Or I'll see if it's on YouTube. I'll do that. That's easier. I got Batman on Blu-ray. I can just pop that shit in. It looks good. I want to get the new release. Girthy Gamer SD, thank you very much. Where'd you go? Proof the 80s were better. We're nostalgic for commercials. Well, Girthy Gamer SD, I am nostalgic for commercials from both the 80s and the 90s. I loved the old Nickelodeon commercials, the bumpers. There's just something so weird. And do you guys remember, if you're of age, and how in the 90s they would show like old stock footage? Like of a housewife cooking in a kitchen, or like some production plant, and they'd put like new music and shit over it, and then they'd like advertise a product over that. There's just this weird and then there were commercials where people, like, they were kind of dark. Like, was it Yoshi Cookie, where it referenced Monty Python's Mr. Creosote? Like, yeah, Yoshi, I think it was Yoshi Cookie. The guy's eating, and then he explodes. I remember that commercial as a kid, being freaked out. Didn't know what it was for, but man, yes, the commercials of the bygone era were better. Super Bowl had some good commercials this year, but overall commercials are just kind of meh. I don't even watch. It's like modern TV. It's not worth my time. I like to watch old commercials on YouTube because they're entertaining, and that's why I wanted to get into advertising at one point. That's what I actually did. I studied it in college because I liked commercials. I like the idea of selling a product in a creative way. And now it's just the most basic. It's like, well, we're going to sell it by making the actors look like the people that buy the product. Okay, well, I'm sure that works. But a little bit of creativity here and there are a lot of fun. Like, you remember the Taco Bell dog? Or, I'll give it to this. The KFC ads with the different actors playing the Colonel, those are cool. Those are well done. That Walmart ad with all the movie cars, that is another well done commercial. Let's see. Oh, okay. Star Wars for Life says, Jeff, they have a show every Sunday, a live stream, if you can join them there. I want to join them. I really do. I'm talking about Gary and Nerdrotic. I want to get on the Exozone. They've always had invites open for me. I just am never home. I'm going to make it happen. Those guys are cool. Dietrich Garbo says, the Tick would kick Crimson Chin's butt. I agree. The Tick is kind of, invincible. That's what I love about him. He's stupid and invincible. I should draw that and just give it out as free prints at Horror Hound. Like, hey guys, here's your Crimson Chin versus the Tick illustration. I'll get it colored and everything. Swinging Cod says, I want to know who has the rights to Scud the Disposable Assassin. Pay good money to see that as a premium TV show. Would you really pay to see it as a TV show, or do you think it would work better as like a bizarre animated short between another show? Like, do you guys remember Liquid Television on MTV? Hey, Eon Flux, Beavis and Butthead was on there for a short time. All kinds of weird cartoons. That would be kind of cool. Now, is Scud the Disposable Assassin a Doug TenNapel creation? I follow Doug on social media. Doug's a good guy. I bought his book. He bought mine. There's a lot of there's respect, but I don't know everything about him. Like, I don't follow everything he's ever done, so I don't know if he's done that. But I know Scud the Disposable Assassin. That'd be fun. We're in a weird era, in a good era, where comic books and superheroes are still hot, and they're trying different things with them. Okay, this is a little bit of a teaser for my next video. So Jessica Jones came out, and no one knew, and no one cared. It wasn't necessarily a big shocker that Jessica Jones Season 3 is getting rave reviews, but no one's talking about it publicly. I personally tried to watch it, and I got a couple minutes in, and I was like, this is the same old shit. I really don't need to see Jessica Jones' shitty personality. So I turned it off, and I probably won't go back to it, to be honest. Season 2 was a chore to get through. And I don't want to sit and complain for hours. That's all I can say. But it was pretty shitty. But Swinging Cod, I'm with you about Scud the Disposable Assassin. I'm also mad at you for making us watch Mother, but whatever. You're a patron. You requested it. We made it happen. If you got other requests, let us know. We got a couple things we're working on. Just be patient. But we make it happen, always. And by the way, if you're the top-tier patron, your shirts were shipped a while ago. I've had a couple messages from people saying they got their shirts. So as soon as you get yours, just tag me on social media. They'll be there any day. And like I said, I got a message last week. Some of you are in Australia and different parts of the world. A couple people are international. So I guess it's going to take a little longer, but some of you have them, and some of you should have them in any day now. So thank you. That's all I can say. Rhino4563 says, Shatner blocked Doomcock over Jason Isaac comments from Discovery Season 1. Oh, Jeff, we raised $1,000 in 56 minutes. 20K would be easy. Been tweeting Shatner all day. Need this interview. Guys, if you can get him to agree, I will stop everything I'm doing to start the fundraising. We'll make it happen, and we'll get him. If he'll agree, I'll do whatever it takes to get him here on the channel for the interview. If William Shatner hears this clip, we all like you. We're all fans. It's not going to be a problem. Put it like this. Any actor, celebrity, any person that gets invited on a Fandom Menace stream is not going to be treated hostilely. Look how I handled Mundane Matt. Said what I had to say, treated him with respect. He's no longer a part of our lives or our fandom, but I didn't say anything to him I regret or wouldn't handle the same way again. And I want to extend that to anyone that ever hears this would get involved, because let's be honest, we've grown a lot. Since this year started, we've grown over 50,000 subscribers in 6 months. We're moving. Maybe we didn't have the 95,000 like Gary in since last September. But we've had really good growth, and it's because of people like you guys that are out there watching all the time, and people are paying attention to us. So it's not unrealistic that we could get big names. So when that happens, it'll be awesome. It'll be a big win for all of us, the Fandom Menace, the fans who like good entertainment, who don't build up entertainment based on the right political idea, just what we enjoy: good writing, good storytelling, good visuals. So Swinging Cod, thank you. And Rhino4563, thank you very much. I believe we can do it. We can make it happen. I want to make it happen. I want to have If you thought I was excited to have Ethan Van Sciver on the channel, and believe me, I was telling everybody in the family, I got this DC comic artist, he's going to be great, he's cool. Now we're friends, we talk all the time. Just imagine if fucking William Shatner showed up. I would shit my pants. I'd tell everybody. I'd go to my local comic book store, like, guys, I don't give a shit what you're doing tonight. I got William Shatner coming on my show. Seriously, it's happening. We already agreed. William Shatner will be on tonight. Shows up, we interview him. Fuck, it'd be incredible. So I'm just saying, let's make it happen. Alpha Terranima says, my headcanon for Batman Returns is that it's actually part of the Frank cinematic universe. Same with Dumbo, Big Fish, and that one lawyer movie. The Frank cinematic universe. Now you're talking, I guess, the Tim Burton stuff, right? Oh, no, Frank Reynolds. Oh, shit, no, duh, Burnt. Let me stop right there. Now I got it. It took me just a brief second. The Frank cinematic universe. I would wear that shirt, the FCU. Couldn't the logo... Okay, so, Alpha Terranima, you know how in all the Marvel movies it does the flip logo of all the comic book panels, and then it says Marvel, sometimes it says 10th anniversary, sometimes it says whatever. Can we basically start out with all these pictures of Frank, and then it becomes a couch, and then he just cuts his way out of the couch? For those out there that are listening that don't understand that reference, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There's an episode where Frank Reynolds, a.k.a. Danny DeVito, is concerned that the people at his company are talking about him behind his back. So he sews himself into a leather couch, naked, at this Christmas party because he wants to hear what they're saying. And he's like, I can't, it's too hot. And he, like, cuts his way out of this fucking leather couch naked. Just Google it. It's awesome. It's on YouTube. After Good Morning Pop Culture, check it out. You're just going to love it. You're going to say, holy shit, how did I not catch that? Can we also throw Ruthless People on there, Alpha Terranima? Let's see. Dietrich Garbo says Scud would be a great adaptation. I agree. I want something weird and bizarre. Weird and bizarre. It sounds like the end of the Twilight Zone. One to the next. One to the next. Okay, so now that we're all caught up. Hold on, wait. Geek Talk Society says 1K subs imminent. Would love to have you on as a guest. Message me. You know how to contact me either over Instagram or Twitter or something, so I can have it in writing so I can look at it, and I will let you know what dates I have available, and we'll try to make that. We'll make it happen. I can make it for other people. I can make it for you too. That's all I can say. Well, Grand Inquisitor, we started out talking about Captain Marvel winning a major award, sarcasm, MTV Movie Award for Best Action Fight. And now we're going to finally get to what I wanted to talk about right now. So, Spider-Man 4. Now, there was this image tweeted out from Alex Ross that said hashtag Spider-Man 4, of a painting he did from the Tobey Maguire films. Then, this cryptic image of a number 4 in webbing popped up, and I thought, it's happening. They're doing something with a multiverse in Spider-Man. And I was so excited. I thought about it for minutes. Until I saw C.B. Sobalski tweet that it was actually just a countdown, and then the number 3 came out. And it got me thinking, though. This actually had traction online. It was trending. Spider-Man 4. The idea of adapting it into a comic. The fact that enough people have talked about this, let me know at least, that Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi trilogy, still holds a very special place in people's hearts. Now, is it going to happen? No. Would I love it to happen? Yes, I would. If I could go back and change one thing in cinematic history, and it probably would be like this would be the one thing, it would be to include a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man in the first Avengers, and that's how you cross it over. Like, we never know, we're told this, we're told all these crazy things, but that is the crossover. Imagine at the 0 hour when the Avengers are getting beat, you hear that, woo, and he comes in, he swings in, and like, who's this guy, blah, blah, blah. They just fight, everyone already's bought into the character, and then we move forward. Everything else is the same. That's my that's the alternate reality I would like to live in. But we don't. Spider-Man 3 ended on a down note. It was a shit. It's 50%. There's some great moments. There's some terrible moments. And yes, the dancing is stupid. But the fact that this got trending, people were talking, people wanted it, people were making memes about it, it gives me hope that one day we'll see either a Spider-Man 4 adaptation at least in a comic book form, or what I'd really like, but it would cost money for Sony, and I don't think they'll ever do it, is there is all kinds of unfinished footage and alternate takes of Spider-Man 3. I would honestly, if they were to put it out, like I rebought the Spider-Man collection for the director's cut of Spider-Man 3, but if they were to put in the time like they did with the Donner cut, I would drop money to get the alternate cut of Spider-Man 3 that has different takes, different scenes, the final swing, all this other stuff. Like, just put it out there, make it happen. That'd be a fun alternative. You know, hell, if Disney really wanted to... Well, no, they can't. That's a Sony flick. Never mind. You can't put it on Disney+. Fuck Disney+. But make it happen. I would really love for that to happen. At the very least, you know I'm a toy collector. You guys all know I love to collect my merchandise. Give us a high-end, modern Spider-Man figure based on Tobey Maguire's costume from Part 2. I would love that. There's this thing called a Mafex Spider-Man. It was $100. You know what? Let me show you guys an image of it. Because I think that would be pretty cool. So, give me one quick second. So, let's see. Mafex Spider-Man. Now, I picked this up. It is awesome. Not was awesome. Is awesome. It took me a whole calendar year to get this damn thing. But it showed up, and it's my favorite Spider-Man figure ever. Let's see. Open image in new tab. You can't get it anymore because it's sold out. It ain't coming back anytime soon. They'll probably have to do a reissue. Almost said re-edition. That makes no sense. So there we go. Let me show you guys in the chat, so you guys can check it out. So, where are we at? It's been a minute since I've done these. But I like it. I'm having a great time. There you go. So this is Mafex Spider-Man. At the very least, I know we'll never get a Spider-Man 4 or a remaster. I'd love it. Can we at least get a Spider-Man figure of this quality and price based on the Tobey Maguire suit? We had great ones back in the day. Like, they were just the standard issued shit you'd buy at Toys R Us. They were great toys, but I would really love to get something like this. This would be, you know, it would be my dream. So, like people are saying in the chat, Raimi's Spider-Man forever. I would love to make that happen. Yeah, Peter Allen Tobey was my favorite too. Don't care what people say. I think if people understood Spider-Man in the grand scheme of things, they would understand that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man films, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man films, are accurate to the late 60s John Romita Stan Lee, Face the Tiger, you just hit the jackpot era of the character. It's not Ditko. He's not in high school forever. He's in there for, 28 issues, I figured out once. It's something along those lines. But, you know, it was a fun time to be a Spider fan. He was the number one superhero in the world. Would I like to get back to that? Yeah. Do I think Tom Holland could do it? No, I really don't. He just doesn't have that type of charisma, and there's too many competing superheroes. You know, with one good film, Batman can get right back to the top of the charts. That's all I can say. Let's see. Report. There we go. Goodbye. I haven't seen the editor's cut of Spider-Man 3. I own it. I just haven't watched it yet. But that box set is sitting on my shelf, upside down actually, wrapped in plastic. I want a Todd McFarlane era Spider-Man movie, says Akuma. I would love that. Todd McFarlane era Spider. It's funny. I was on my Facebook memories the other day, and I said Todd McFarlane issues are not only drawn well, but the writing's really, really good. I think the only way we're going to get interesting, and I will say the word diverse, ironically, but, you know, of diversity of thought and ideas, the only way we're going to get those kind of Spider-Man films is if we can get them out of high school. Trying to sell us PG-13, kid-friendly Deadpool isn't going to work. If you want a hero that everybody can get behind, you gotta understand Disney, Hollywood, Sony, people on the internet that think comic book movies are made for kids. We learned that 60% of the audience are dudes, mostly white, and they're older. It's like with wrestling. The average wrestling fan is like 38 or something. I looked into that the other day for video research. Point is, these movies aren't made and they seem to be made and marketed towards kids, but the kids aren't the only ones watching. Kids, people my age, I'm 30. We grew up with all the Marvel and DC stuff. A few years later, say you're born in 95, you're growing up with a lot of anime. You're growing up with Pokemon. Well, I had Pokemon as a kid. I was 9 when it came out. Well, no, I was 11, sorry. You're growing up with Pokemon. You're growing up with Yu-Gi-Oh! You're growing up with all these Japanese-influenced things. Yes, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man are all part of Americana. They're there. They're in the periphery. You like them. Sometimes you hate them. But the point is, you're gonna see that to make these characters, you're gonna have to appeal to everybody. And Iron Man appeals to everybody, male, female, young, and old. Same thing with Captain America, Thor. They're all adults. They face real threats. Spider-Man doesn't face real threats, and I don't like that. Bro Paulo Creed, shout out to you. He says, even my kids who are 6 and 9 prefer the Raimi stuff. Granted, they know his stuff from watching Army of Darkness, but still, if children know the difference, I don't see how it's even a debate. Well, thank you, Bro Paulo Creed, first off, for introducing your kids to Army of Darkness, because that movie kicks ass. Secondly, you're getting them set on the right foot, the right path for superhero movies. That's all I can say. Ugh. Oh, I'm a popular guy. My phone keeps blowing up. Okay, apps. Yeah, the themes are more adult in comic books. Even back in the day, I would argue that a 16-year-old in 1962 was far more mature than a 16-year-old in 2019. As society has evolved and technology has advanced, many ways they've regressed. There's prolonged childhoods, people are less responsible. It's not that Aunt May needs to be 95 years old and Peter needs to be doing whatever to keep her alive, get her heart pills. But it actually helps when he's responsible for keeping the family together to some degree. Like, oh, I got a job for Mr. Stark and Mr. Stark and Mr. Stark. Well, Mr. Stark's dead, okay? Go get your ass a job, Peter. I hate how he's going to get an endowment from Stark Industries. Get him a job at the Daily Bugle. When you were 16 or whatever, maybe you didn't have a job. I did. Maybe you did too. But you weren't given an endowment from some multi-billion-dollar corporation. A billionaire didn't take you under his wing because he saw you on YouTube. Like, hey, Elon Musk, I know you deleted your Twitter, but if you want to throw a couple mil at me because you like what I do, I'm not going to say no. Same thing goes to Jeff Bezos. We share the same name, and the same thing goes to Jeff Bezos' wife. If you want a guy that has the same name you'll never forget, look me up. I live by an Amazon hub. We can make it work. But Spider-Man not having any real threats just pisses me off. And I would love to see, even another thing at the least, a Spider-Man 4 adaptation comic book. That would be a lot of fun. Fuck. Marvel, I'll draw it. Let's make it as fans, officially sanctioned Spider-Man 4 adaptation on Indiegogo. There we go, Marvel. Let's make it happen. I don't care if you dislike me or like me. You like money, and we could raise $1 million real quick. That's all I'm saying. So let's see. Another fucking bot. Thanks, YouTube. It's funny. YouTube wants to focus on protecting Brie Larson and the right thought processes, but you can't keep porn bots off my chat. Thank you. I don't care that you want to take 30%. Just provide me with a working environment that's suitable. That's all I can say. Army of Darkness is a level of filmmaking that Hitchcock would be proud of. Yeah, I agree. Hitchcock is, I would argue, the best director, and Army of Darkness is a fantastic film that everyone should watch. Cumberbatch Pepperpot, thank you very much. In Endgame, they went all out of their way to keep Spider-Man in high school, despite time advancing 5 years. They'll never age him. I know. They'll never age him. That pisses me off. I don't need him to be older because I'm older. At 20 years old, I still wanted an adult Spider-Man. Like, at least in the comics. Okay, when you make him too adult, I don't like him. Like, oh, he owns his own business. Thank you, neighborhood. Thank you. Like in the comics, they made him like basically like a lower end Tony Stark, and I did not like that. Just a guy struggling to make ends meet. To the Joe Quesadas of the world who think all Spider-Man needs to be an adult. Look, when I was a kid, he was already married, and I related to him. I didn't need him to be, I was 5 years old. I don't want to read about a 5-year-old. That's why I liked Power Rangers, because they were adults. Batman was a man. Oh, he has girlfriends, this and that and the other. Like, I don't think kids, kids want to be kids. They enjoy it. They're not as self-aware. But when they reach a certain age, they want to stay up. They want to know what the adults are doing. They want to be able to hang out with the older kids, the cool kids. And that is where you can make your money forever, because it's a part of human nature. It's part of a desire to be respected. So let's just stop making him a child. I get it. Look at Cumberbatch Pepperpot. I'm not even angry. Thank you for your message. I agree with you. They'll never age him. But they have to. It's just not going to work. We're going to get a series of adult superhero flicks making $1 billion. I don't think Spider-Man's going to make $1 billion. I really don't. I think it'll make some money, but I don't think it's going to be $1 billion picture. That's all I can say. Let's see. All right, Grand Inquisitor, there you go. His name is Peter Parker, not Peter Pan. Bro Paulo Creed, high five. McKeedy90 says, Spider-Man's best stories are all in his early 20s to me. Yeah, I'm not even going to argue with that. So, he would be in his early 20s from about in our time, like, real time. 1969, 70? So basically from 1969 to 1990 something. Really, he's still in his 20s technically. But yeah, his kids' stories are like, well, I wouldn't call them kids' stories. I mean, he's always 16-ish, 17. Daredevil early on says he's 17 years old in one of the Ditko issues. So let's say he's 16 at the earliest, 17 whatever. So he's already a man, essentially, in the sense he's 1 year removed from adulthood. So, yeah, but his best stories are like Kraven's Last Hunt, a lot of the stuff from the 80s, all adults stuff. I don't like Ultimate Spider-Man. I'm sorry. A lot of people were like, oh, that's the best. Is it, though? Because all you did is you took iconic stories, you gave everyone buzz cuts and mullets, and you did a bunch of close-ups with really big eyes. I get that trying to jump into a comic book line could be daunting for a newcomer. Like, one of our people in the chat was like, hey, I'm new to the channel, and had a couple questions, and thankfully, shout out to Reality's Frank, gave him some advice on how to get caught up on, who we are as the world-class bullshitters in the fandom menace. But I get that it's kind of hard to catch up on early, these books. But in the case of Spider-Man, I say start at the beginning and work your way up. Work your way up, man. All the way up. Let's see. McKinney90 also said, no, the 90s animated series and Spectacular Spider-Man are the best. Spectacular Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man cartoon, hands down. That's all I can say. If it was a real thing, I'd hug it for how perfect it was. Now I want to put that on. I'll tell you this. When I work on Stealing Solo, my favorite thing is to put on, like, X-Men. I've been watching X-Men. We'll talk about that in a minute. Or, like, a superhero cartoon. It just gets me in the mood. Because when I was a kid, I used to sit down with lined notebooks. And I would watch... What would I watch? Because back when I was doing that, I didn't have all... These movies didn't exist, all of them, yet. So this would have been 2002-ish. So let's just say it was the end of 2002. So I had Spider-Man. And I also had X-Men on DVD. I had Batman on video, but I didn't really watch it on video after DVD came out. I was like, video? Who wants to rewind? So I stuck with DVD. But I used to watch, like, superhero stuff, and now I still do as an adult. Like, when I first got Netflix, Spider-Man and X-Men were both on there, and you couldn't get Spider-Man. You still can't get it all anywhere. And I used to sit and leave that show on. Like, I'd just run through the series constantly and sit and draw and study, here's the thing about me. I used to buy magazines. I have, like, a fucking stack of, like, fashion magazines, and I don't want to read them for the articles. I would draw the ads because they'd have these beautiful women's faces, and I'd sit there and try to draw them and figure out the, proportions. That's how I did it, and that's my favorite thing to draw now. I spent so much time doing it, because, honestly, I could always draw superheroes and Spider-Man, and it was fun, but I could never get the women to look right. Now, I've balanced it out, so I'm very happy with that. Let's see. Oscar-nominated A-hole. That's a great screen name. Spider-Man animated series was perfect and the best. I want to watch that again right now. The theme song's awesome. By the way, David Morris, I'm writing down your thing. Back to the Future Illuminati. There we go. Damn. There we go. We got some great moderators in the chat. Shout out to you guys for keeping these bots in check. So, we're winding down here, folks. But this is going to be archived on the Good Morning Pop Culture channel because I've been recording the audio for it. So this should be up on our streaming platform very, very soon. I want everyone to do me a favor and check out yesterday's video if you haven't, and do me an even bigger favor if you wouldn't mind, and share that video all over social media, because YouTube has made changes and it's kind of slowing us down a bit, but we're still putting out the same quality content. We still got the same listeners, and we just want to get more people in here all the time. So do me a favor and share that for me. Peter Allen says the Spider-Man game for N64 was definitely magic. Well, Peter Allen, I have a suggestion. If you have a chance, play it on PlayStation because it's better. It's the same game with full motion cutscenes. Like, not these little pictures and screenshots. It's fully voiced. It's that and the new PS4 game are the two best Spider-Man games, hands down. They get the character, they get the world, they got tons of costumes. Almost, in a way, the PS4 game is not a remake, but like a reimagining of that Spider-Man. It's slightly different from the books, but it still respects it. It's great. Now, the one from the PS1 era may have a better roster. You fight Venom, Carnage, Rhino, Doc Ock, Mysterio, all kinds of stuff. But then you move forward to the new game, and it really is just as good. It's the best. Acid Blade 21, thank you very much. Good morning, Jeff. Was wondering if you had a chance yet to watch One Punch Man. In my opinion, it is the blueprint for how Marvel could be successful going forward. I will check it out one of these days. I haven't had a chance. At my local GameStop, they have a One Punch Man action figure, which I see all the time and I think about. I think One Punch Man might be on Funimation, which I have access to because I got the VRV streaming service. But I will watch it one of these days. See, now the problem with me and anime is, if I get into it... Well, no, it's not even a problem, because anime, a lot of those shows, they're it. It's it's one season, maybe it's 22 episodes, maybe it's 12. You watch it, it's a complete story, and it's over. You get into the American cartoons, like Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and it was meant to be an ongoing series, and then it gets canceled because of, stupidity at Disney. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, the opinionated one, I was thinking that too, about the YouTube changes. We'll see. Like I said, we'll have all the alternatives for you guys. And like I said, we're going to have a big announcement on Thursday about our Patreon alternative. And then in July, we'll have an even bigger announcement. So, there we go. Billy Fighter 69 says, WCBS is the best anti-SJW Star Wars channel. You can call them out so perfectly. Well, thank you very much, Billy Fighter 69. The way you beat those people is by doing your research and remembering history. And I don't mean George Washington and that kind of stuff. I mean, for this new study that has come out from Mark H. White II, PhD, all you need to do is look back to Dr. Morton Bay and his bullshit about, they're half Russian bots, this, that, and the other, and you see how disingenuous and how worthless and useless these studies are. At the end of the day, The Last Jedi is a dumpster fire of a film, and the stuff that followed, the way the fans were treated, the garbage writing, the sycophantic Disney kiss-ups, is what damaged the Star Wars brand. You can get over a bad movie, but you've never been called a man-baby by a director, talking about your droopy butts, this, that, and the other. Just shut up. That's all I can say is just shut up, Hollywood. Shatner just accepted... hold on. It says Didgeridoo. Is that real? Let me see. Let's see. I'd shit my pants if William Shatner would join. I'm trying to see where the tweet is. Hold on, I don't want to give you guys dead air. The Jacobite. Sorry. I don't know. I'll have to check. I'll look on my Twitter. Sorry. David Morris says the link to the Back to the Future video is in your email. Thank you very much, David. I will check that out for sure. I'll check that out for sure. I want to watch it. God damn it, where's this? Now that I heard this news about Twitter, now I gotta look into it. Shit. I'll look when I get off air. I promise. I'll look when I get off air, and we'll make it happen. Oh my god, that'd be incredible. That's all I can say. Missing Link Media, I'm glad I'm on this morning, too. I'm glad you guys are all here. I'm loving this. It's been a hell of a morning. A lot of fun. Missed you guys. And if you want to thank the person who got me here, thank the DJ D Show. Check out his channel. Give us a subscribe and tell him that there was a Good Morning Pop Culture thanks to him, and that we're back enjoying this. Let's see. Did I catch the new SVP at Lucasfilm? Yes, Damien. That's actually the first piece of news I saw this morning. So I sleep next to my phone, and when I wake up, I check Facebook and news stuff to make for the channel, and that was what I saw. I looked into it. I don't know necessarily. It might. Okay, I do need to finish out our Star Wars Trilogy Bullshit Edition, which I want to get done soon. I also want to film P.O. Box stuff, and I bought a new tripod, so I just really want to make that. I love doing those. Only thing that sucks about the P.O. Box videos, the rendering is a bitch and a half. But whatever. Who cares? It's part of the process. But I'll read more into that. Our next video, I'm gonna get that done for tomorrow. It's very important, topical. It involves Men in Black International, X-Men, and really it talks about how the people in charge in Hollywood don't take into account that the social media buzz for a film isn't necessarily reflective of basically social media research shouldn't have too much money put behind it in terms of box office. Sometimes the old ways work best with market research, test screenings, and all that stuff. Yes, folks, listen to Reality's Frank. Flick the bean button. We have 500 plus people watching with only 367 likes. Let's get a like for everyone here. Simple request from a giant man. Echo Base Network, thank you very, very much. Who's hosting the High Council tonight? You guys should bring him on for a quick minute if he is free to celebrate with him being unblocked by his childhood hero, Captain Kirk. Keep up the good work. Love Good Morning Pop Culture. And then he sent another super chat saying him being Doomcock. Well, Nick, I understood who you meant. Thank you very much, Echo Base Network. I appreciate that. Yeah, Doomcock is all... There are YouTubers that are always welcomed on, the High Council. Doomcock, Gary, Anna, Jesse, Cecil. Always love to have them on. So I'll see if... We'll see if Doomcock's available. Now, to answer your question, Jeremy's hosting the High Council tonight. It'll be on Geeks and Gamers at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so that's 8 o'clock for you Centralites. And we're going to have a lot of fun. We'll talk about that. Bro Paulo Creed, thank you very much for your message. I don't want to read it on air to embarrass you, but I appreciate the strong will that you have to listen to everything we're talking about. So get Shatner to subscribe on the High Council. Oh, if William Shatner agreed and says, whatever, we're going to make an event out of it. It's big. We're going to use all the channels in the Fandom Menace to announce it. We're going to have it here on World Class Bullshitters. And we're going to talk about... It'll be awesome. It'll be the biggest event we've ever had. Where else can you go? You got the fucking captain of the Enterprise. Well... Who knows? Sky's the limit. Space is the place. That's a Macho Man Randy Savage reference. That's all I can say. So I think we're going to help Bro Paulo Creed out, and we're going to close the stream, because I want to get back to work. I want to work on tomorrow's video. I want to try to get some of the Sam Hamm first draft Batman script read, and I want to watch this Batman Illuminati video. Damaj and I, good morning to you, my friend. Shout out to you, too. Oh man, so yes, Fandom Menace assemble tonight on Geeks and Gamers. Like I said, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This live stream is going to be put to private because it does affect the algorithm. I'm sorry, but we're the subscriber count's going through the roof. We're up 1,300 in a week, which is awesome. Like, we've never slowed down. If we're not getting 50 million views in a month, we're getting tons of subscribers and tons of new patrons and stuff like that. So thank you to everybody who believes in us, believes in what we do, what we represent. We're always going to be here for you guys, so thank you very much. Brimstone 410 gave $2, so thank you very much. That's all I can say is thank you very much. There's no message. Cesaria Japan, I'm sorry you're late to the party, but today was an impromptu episode. You never know when they're going to pop up. Tuesdays are decent days for a surprise episode. Maybe a Friday. Who knows? All I can say is thank the DJD show for making it happen. Grand Inquisitor, thank you very much for joining our moderation team. You're a trusted member of this community, and I appreciate you. And folks, I'm going to end the show like I end all my videos because I believe it. Whatever you do, wherever you go, just do one thing, and that is be excellent to each other.